with field goal.
Washington won the toss. They want the ball in the second quarter of play, the second half of play, and John Anderson then will be kicking it off, and Southern California will have Marcel Amon and Justin Fargas as their deep people. Anderson got up this morning and supposedly had a sore leg and might not have kicked off, but there he is going out there and swing it right now, and apparently whatever it was bothering him doesn't bother him much when the adrenaline starts to flow. Here's a young man looking for a chance to do something as a Trojan, Justin Fargas, but he won't have a chance on this one because the ball is kicked 8 yards deep into the end zone to Marcel Amon. So here's Carson Palmer coming to the line of scrimmage. He's a big guy, and he's pretty hard to handle sometimes if you get in a fix where you've got to take him on one-on-one. But that 6'6" of height is a great asset for any quarterback because it gives him a chance to see over the line of scrimmage.
And he'll be looking at a very tall freshman wide receiver, number 1. As Todd talked about earlier, Mike Williams will get his first start.
In the backfield, it's Sultan McCullough at tailback, and Malifo McKenzie opens up at the fullback position. And here's your first snap of the ball game. Palmer back to throw it on the first play. Gets some pursuit. Gets his pass away. He's got Williams downfield. Williams is intercepted. Sam Cunningham came right in front of him and picked it off. So Palmer didn't have quite enough lead on it. And young Cunningham, who is playing instead of Rock Alexander at that corner position, comes up with the interception.
And he is no relation to the great USC fullback Sam Cunningham, but what he is very opportunistic. Williams had the ball in his hands. Now he's got to improvise, sees his quarterback's in trouble, and this is a dropped pass right into the arms and hands of Sam Cunningham by the young freshman Mike Williams. He's got to make that catch. Very heads up by Cunningham to give the Huskies great field position.
Yeah, they have the ball at the 35-yard line on the USC side, and here's Cody Pickett setting them up. Paul Arnold was the man in motion. They try to run the ball with Braxton Clemens as a yard, and that'll do it. Cody Pickett, young man from Idaho whose daddy was an all-star Cowboy. On track to smash all the passing records, both school and conference, unless his arm falls off. At his current pace, he'll throw close to 600 passes in 12 games or 13 this season if they get into a bowl game. There's the other quarterback now on the phone. Pickett, they'll run it again, give it to Clemens, and Braxton Clemens has no place to go. I mean, he's down right at the line of scrimmage. The reason that Pickett is throwing so much, the Huskies have not been able to run the ball very well. You saw an example of it right there. Position is now manned by committee, but the receivers are all pretty good. Offensive front, third combination in 4 weeks for them. Redshirt freshman Robin Meadow replacing Nick Newton. He's hobbled with a sore ankle. Butler and Zajac are also dinged up some. So it is 3rd down and 10 now for the Washington Huskies. Their first possession of the ball game off the interception at the Trojan 35-yard line. They haven't moved it an inch. Pickett will go to the air, to the sidelines. The pass to Reggie Williams is complete. They gave him a lot of room. Armand was over there, and he gave him almost 5 yards of room, and that was easy for Reggie Williams, and it's 1st down Washington.
Keith, at 6'4", 220 pounds. Watch how good Reggie Williams' feet are. Minces his steps, gives his quarterback a target. And this is a great way to start. Converting on 3rd down, your first attempt, but the Huskies have been very good at that all year.
Ball is on the Trojan 22-yard line with the 1st down. Clemens, the tailback, vacates the backfield. They go quickly to Paul Arnold, a running back who was converted to wide receiver, and he goes down to the Washington 18-yard line. The USC defense has been hurt severely right up the middle, losing tackle Sean Cody for the season with a knee. This is just short of losing Carson Palmer with Cody and Mike Patterson in the middle. That was the best defensive front in the conference when they were all healthy. Linebackers are all good and healthy now. Goodgro's only 205, but it's in the secondary sometimes where they've had some trouble. Strong safety Troy Polamalu is trying to play again today, but we don't know yet just how sound he really is. So from the 18-yard line, they go back to Clemens. Clemens trying to get outside, can't do it. Coming in a hurry, it's Matt Grudegood making the pickup on the play and brings him down. And now we cross the country for a visit with John Saunders.
on top early. Keith.
It is third down, 11 yards to go now for the Washington Huskies, and the pass intended for Clement out of the backfield is thrown over his head. Mike Patterson had come in to put the pressure on Cody Pickett and make him throw it probably before he wanted. And so here's Washington now with this golden opportunity being frittered away, and they'll undoubtedly go to John Anderson for a field goal try.
Mike Patterson reading the blocks of the offensive line, recognizing the screen, just followed the alignment out and foiled that screen pass.
Cody Pickett does the holding for Washington. Anderson is down on the 30-yard line, and it is no good. So the special teams mechanics are not good. It's a high snap, and the opportunity to put the first points on the scoreboard in this game have been lost. It is still 0-0, and USC will get the ball next. Here are the Trojans now with an opportunity to possess the ball. They had one snap and had an interception. Washington then couldn't do anything with the opportunity from the 35-yard line, plus a first down on the 18. This time they go to Sultan McCullough, and McCullough has hit right about the line of scrimmage. In the Trojan backfield, things have changed over the last 2 weeks. McCullough has become the man at tailback. Justin Fargas will back him up, and Fargas will return kickoffs as well. McKenzie is in at fullback as a starter. Mike Williams at wide receiver. Kareem Kelly has a sore ankle, and the freshman moves in front of Kelly, but Kelly was out there for this snap in this alignment. The offensive front tackle Jacob Rogers is out with a bad knee. Eric Torres has shifted over to the left tackle spot. That's Colbert going in motion for Southern California. Carson Palmer rolls it out, little play action, dumps it off. The pass is completed, but Keary Colbert has no place to go, as the Huskies' Derek Johnson was in his shirt when he made the catch.
Yeah, no place to go also because tight end Alex Holmes decided not to block either of these guys. Watch this pretty well designed play by Norm Chow. Little misdirection for Colbert. He's coming out underneath, but out in front of him is number 81, Alex Holmes, and he goes right by those two Huskies.
So from the 22-yard line now, it is third down 11 for Southern California. And they put McKenzie in motion out of the fullback spot. He's a very good receiver. And Carson Palmer has time to throw and gets it off. And he's got Colbert wide open. And a first down for the Trojans up around the 45-yard line. Play made in front of Greg Carruthers.
The key to this, Keith, was that time to throw for Carson Palmer. The offensive line did a super job of protecting him, and then he has all the time in the world to find this deep corner route by Keary Colbert. One thing to notice by SC now, watch Carruthers pop the ball loose there out of bounds, but that's twice now. SC receivers have had trouble hanging onto the ball.
The ball is just short of the 45-yard line for the Trojans. And it's McCullough looking for daylight on the right side. He gets about 3 yards worth before again Carruthers, the strong safety, can make the tackle. The defensive front for Washington has not always been able to get much of a push at the point of the attack, and it is also not the biggest unit in the conference. Linebackers and strong safety are the top tacklers on the team. Madavi has gone from walk-on to captain. He and Cooper have been outstanding. The secondary has been almost ready to beg for mercy when the passes started flying in the second half, though freshman Nate Robinson did make a big play for them. Rock Alexander, a cornerback, not here. He has a shoulder injury, and Sam Cunningham, who had that interception early on, is starting in his place. There are penalty flags stopping the play before Palmer throws the ball. It is second down and 7, and here is your first penalty of the ball game with Jay Strickerts, the referee.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Little mistakes. It goes from 2nd and 7 to 2nd and 12 as the ball comes back to the 43.
Sometimes that's an indication of just how tense these teams are, as they both realize loser go home as far as the Rose Bowl is concerned.
looking left. Put some air under it. The pass intended for Williams. Dropped the ball. Again, he had it in his hands, and Derek Johnson defending, and he couldn't reel it in.
I talked to Norm Chow, offensive coordinator, about Williams and having him make this start today. He says, first thing you got to remember that he is a freshman, so he'll drop a pass or two. He has the ability to make the big play, but this is 2 times now that Palmer's put the ball in his hands. That was a difficult adjustment to have to make. He made it easily. He just didn't finish the play.
Well, you played 6 games. Are you still a freshman?
Unfortunately, yes, especially when you're a true freshman.
Third down and 12 from the 43. Throwing again. Pass is thrown complete to Keary Colbert. Colbert diving and struggling for the first down, and it looks the mark is going to be a yard short.
But that yard short may tempt Pete Carroll to go for it on 4th down. That's how important that penalty was on the previous play to push the Trojans back a bit. The 4th down so far this year. It's only been 4 out of 9, so the punting team comes out for SC.
Malone stands at the 40, should hit the ball somewhere around the 43-44. And the receiving position for Washington is empty. Now they're going to send somebody back there. And that somebody will be Jimmy Newell. So for a fleeting moment, there was no receiver deep for Washington. The punt by Malone, he got some pressure, but he got it away, and it's going to take a pretty good bounce for him and go out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. They've marked it right on the 14. And there, Washington will take over.
Take a look at what Washington must do today to beat SC. They've got to find a running game somewhere. They haven't yet so far. Braxton Clement, 3 rushes for a -5 yards. They are going to try and throw the ball to Reggie Williams as much as possible. He's got 1 catch for 13. But the one thing about Rick Neuheisel's football teams, if they can stay close, they've had great success winning close games.
Kevin Ware and Joe Toledo, they've got a double tight end alignment now as they come out to take possession at their own 14-yard line. Clement is the single back. Pickett will throw and sometimes gets it off to the sideline. The dice caught by Joe Toledo. Because that is right up around the first down mark. And here today, the Washington Huskies are knocking at that as we're off to visit again with John Saunders.
Iowa State back to punt against Oklahoma. Troy Yell gets Finn's recovers. Touchdown Oklahoma, 7-0.
Southern California counters with their senior a yard short of his first down here in the Coliseum in Los Angeles. So it's second down and 1 for Washington. And Pickett turns hands to the running side. Maybe he gets the first down. Back he lost footage on the play. There was penetration by the front of the Southern California defense. Got in there and locked his legs back on the near the 11-yard line.
They call him BKU for Big
Carson started his first game for the
Trojans. There is that penetration.
3rd and 2. Ball was 22.
But Clement has 3 carries so far today for negative yardage.
So instead of 3rd and 1, it's now 3rd and a long 2. Pickett's pass good. That'll get your first down for you. Goes to Kevin Ware, the tight end on a slant, and Ware is up to the 28-yard line.
He's their 3rd leading receiver coming into today's game. Here he is right here. It's just a simple in route, but when you're at 6'3" and 255, 260 pounds, this is a good play because if he catches this ball and just falls forward, it's a first down. Zach Tuiasosopo, the fullback number 5 there, cleared the linebackers out. Another conversion on 3rd down for Washington.
The ball is out near the 29-yard line where the Huskies have it. No score in the ball game in the first quarter of play. Trying to run it again. A yard. The offensive line just simply isn't getting any surge against Southern California's defensive front. Next Saturday, we're here with a great doubleheader for you at 9 in the morning out here on the coast. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame will go against the Seminoles of Florida State. And then at 12:30 Pacific, Southern California will be in Eugene playing number 6, Oregon. Oh, that will be a big one in this conference. At It's all on ABC Sports next Saturday. Second down, second down, second down, and 9. And showing blitz, they get the penetration, they swing it outside, goes to Clement out of the backfield. Great open field tackle by Darrell. Rideaux just whipped his legs from under him after he picked up 2 yards.
Troy Polamalu with the blitz from his safety position. Here he is right back here. Now, after the ball is tossed softly over his head to the running back, check out the speed of Darrell Rideaux as he comes up and keeps Clement from turning that corner.
Darrell has one problem in playing a cornerback position. He's 5'8", but he's a bundle. He can be a load. Third down and 7. Pickett back, pressure coming again. Now they're chasing some. He gets it away in a hurry, throws it away actually, and got away with it. Oh, there comes the flag out of the referee's pocket.
Yeah, it took him a while to look out there and see that there were no Husky receivers, either wide receiver, tight end, or running back out in the flat there. And they're going to get Cody Pickett for intentional grounding here.
Deshaun Hill, free safety, was hunting him, and so was Udeze.
Quarterback was outside the pocket. The pass crossed the line of scrimmage. Therefore, by rule, there was no foul. Disregard the play.
So he did get enough out of the pocket and away from the tackle to tackle alignment that they give him that.
Well, let's just check it out. Does he get out past this tackle box? There is absolutely no one over there. You know what? He doesn't get anywhere near getting out of that area. The ball was snapped on the hash mark. He threw the ball from the hash mark.
So it's 4th down, and they're punting. Derek McLaughlin, who averaged better than 42-yard kick last year, having his problems this year. And he's got this one down to the 35-yard line, returned by Greg Carlson, and Carlson comes back up across the 45. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. The people of Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. And Tostitos Scoops, the dip lovers chip. Dig in. Ball is on the 44, where he hit the chalk on the far sidelines, and that's where the Trojans will take over. No score, first quarter. Time marching along at 5:13 to go. Both coaches said they'd like to have a close game. Looks like they may get it. That ball is thrown very quickly to Mike Williams, and Williams is going to pick up 9 yards on the catch. And here's some news about the Oregon Ducks from John Saunders.
Keith, of course, unbeaten in facing Arizona State. Jason Fife, he's been a terrific quarterback this year, placing Joey Harrington. Sammy Parker takes it in from 6 yards out. Oregon on the board early, 7-0, about 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Here it is 2nd down and 1 with no score. That ball game being played up in Eugene as Arizona State takes their passing game on the road. And here's Sultan McCullough trying for the first down, and he doesn't get there. He's right on the line of scrimmage, still a yard short of the first down.
Yes, he's had trouble running the ball so far in this first quarter, but Washington's run defense, second best in the Pac-10. McCullough knows that it's not necessarily the first quarter to the second quarter where he'll do his damage. He's looking for that 20th, 30th carry.
Temperature's got to be somewhere between 70, 75 degrees. Very comfortable day. 3rd down and 1. Back to McCullough. There's your first down. He moves it across the line of scrimmage and picks up 3-4 yards on the carry. And brought down by Greg Brothers. Tomorrow, Tiger Woods in the field of some of the PGA Tour's best will be competing in the Disney Golf Classic. Puerto Rico Curtis Strange will be down there. Can you imagine 5 under par and missing the cut?
I can't imagine 5 under par anytime.
That's at 1 Pacific here on ABC.
Listen to cut, huh?
Yep. 5 under.
That's Carson Palmer, you know he's looked at the stats.
1941, there have only been 6 occasions in which 2 lost to their teams.
Get the piece of it is Josh Miller, a sophomore who comes from Covina, California, making this good solid tackle.
1941, there have only been to their
Trojans
games, and with
tailback.
6 games remaining.
Trojans don't have a lot of variety in their running game.
From the Huskies single season passing record.
Lined up deep in the I formation or as a single back. They zone block, a lot of man-for-man blocking along that offensive line.
Who's having
And
his
what they
best
want
season,
Sultan to do
already
is
ranking
touch
3rd
his
all
eyes.
time in
One
touch
passing
and
yards.
go. All
He also went to
aside,
the
it
bench
is a trip to the
hobbling a
Rose
bit
Bowl
on that
that he
play,
covets.
so he's out of the ballgame right now, and Justin Fargus takes
When the
place.
Huskies were last year in 1998, Cody Pickett was a high school senior, 3 years away from his first start at Washington.
Mike Williams,
Carson Palmer started his first game for the Trojans as a true freshman and won big, 33-10. Dan Fouts, it looks to me like we've got
talked about it being a
gunslinger in every
freshman and
corral
how
this season.
freshmen
We may see a record number of passes today
We
from
also
both
said he's got
quarterbacks for
big
different
play
reasons.
ability.
Washington's Cody Pickett
43
has to
yards
throw the
on
ball
this
because
post
the
route,
Huskies
and
can't
watch
run
as
it.
he
And
separates
that's
from
Carson
Sam
Palmer,
Cunningham.
he's
No
looked at the
help
stats.
deep.
He knows
As
the
the
Huskies
safeties
pass
are too
defense is
shallow.
the worst in the
And
conference.
Carson
Southern
Palmer's got
California has
another
something that
touchdown pass.
Washington does not have, a running
And
game
Ryan
that can
Killeen is
control
in
the
for
clock.
the extra
Feels like
point
he was
try.
stirring again.
Yeah, stirred last week. Sultan McCullough against University of California. Had a wonderful afternoon. Carried the ball 39 times
And so,
for 176 yards. The lead SC
to Mike
to a come
Williams
from behind
from
win over
Carson
Cal.
Palmer. The Trojans
Sultan
take
has
the
always
lead,
had sprinter
7-0.
speed. Needed to go the distance, but what he showed last week was endurance
So
and the
Mike
ability to
Williams
make the first
gets
man
on
miss.
the board
And he's
before Reggie
now the
Williams.
primary ball carrier for SC. He is the
freshman
perfect
has the lead,
complement to
7-0
Carson Palmer,
with
and
2
Cody
minutes and
Pickett would love to have
47
someone
seconds
like
to
him.
play
It
in
looks
the
like
first
his
quarter.
offensive line's picking up
Charles
the traces
Frederick
pretty
and
well,
Nate
too.
Robinson will
Especially
be
young
the deep
Winston
people
Justice.
for the Washington Huskies.
Let's get
as
on the
Ryan
field now for
Killeen
our
will
colleague
kick it
Todd
off
Harris.
for them. Charles Frederick is 10 and Robinson is 13. Frederick is a sophomore. Robinson is the freshman.
The Pac-10 best today. They both happen to wear number 1. They both happen to have the same last name as Williams. Reggie Williams of the
Not
University
very
of
deep.
Washington last year as a
Hangs
freshman
up
lit
and
up the
received
Pac-10,
on the
and he
16-yard
added
line
again
by
this
Nate
year.
Robinson,
Last week
whose
against
dad was
Arizona,
Josh
under
Robinson,
4
who's a
yards,
great
3
player. Don
touchdowns,
James
including
is
the game-winning
Huskies,
8-yard
and he's
slam.
down at the
Now, as
40-yard
good as
line.
his numbers were last year
Keep
as a
time to
freshman,
the Chrysler
USC
passing
Mike
playbook, and how about this one, the 43-yard
Reggie.
touchdown pass.
He's already
Here's
had
Jimmy
4
Newell. He's
touchdowns,
coming over,
and he looks to
and
make his
Sam
first start
Cunningham
today
is working
at the
double coverage
Coliseum.
on Mike
Both men
Williams.
are hoping for the
Williams
one big
comes off
thing
the
they
line of
desperately
scrimmage,
need on their team, and
pushes
that's the victory.
Cunningham to the outside. Newell bites on the Keary Colbert route, and there it's wide open down the field. How about Norm Chow going back to Mike Williams after he dropped the pass for an interception, dropped another long one, threw him straight on that possession, and got paid off with a touchdown.
Chris Singleton is in at tailback now for the Washington Huskies. Played very little this year. The pressure's on Pickett as he rolls out the throw, gets it off, and fights for the ball, and it is a catch. Matt Godegrode was battling with Kevin Ware, and there are 2 penalty flags on the field.
This may be a Washington offensive lineman downfield.
I think it is. Chris Singleton getting his first start. I mean, his first moment first quarter of the season. A sophomore out of Etowanda, California, and they think he's going to be a pretty good player, so they're giving him a chance now.
This takes a long time to develop because of that pressure right there by Udeze. Nice job by Ware of stopping his route and finding a spot in that secondary, but you can see there are 3 Husky offensive linemen across that line of scrimmage.
And besides that, the ball came loose, and Southern California says, we'll take the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. They turned down the penalty. Pete Carroll functions as the defensive coordinator for his football team. That's defense is his nature. It's his second nature, at least, if not 1.5.
Absolutely.
Taylor Singleton in there at tailback. Pickett's calling his play at the line of scrimmage. He's going to throw it. Pass is away. Pass is thrown underneath. Goes to Reggie Williams. And Williams, with a little play like that last week, beat Arizona with a slant that went for 80 yards very late in the ball game.
He's just got, he's got great legs. He can step out of tackles. And with the strength and size that he has, just a simple route across the middle, but he's going to make 2 Trojan tacklers miss. Godegrode misses there.
Rideaux.
And then Darrell Rideaux.
Yep.
Rideaux's got him right there. That's just a great move. That's a running back type of move.
And it's first down Washington at the Southern California 41-yard line. Trojans are leading 7-0 late in the first quarter. That's Singleton in motion. The backfield is empty for Pickett. And throws and misses. The pass was intended for Paul Arnold in the short zone, being covered by Melvin Simmons, a linebacker. The Oregon Ducks have jumped out to a fourth and throwing the ball all over the place and scoring all kinds of points. We did the game where they scored 65 on Stanford.
And that's Dirk Cutter, who used to work for Mike Bellotti as an offensive coordinator, trying to teach the teacher something. Right now, the teacher's all over him.
The professor is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pickett looking around, has a lot of time, has a man down the middle. That's Williams, and once again, Reggie Williams makes a big play for Washington down to the 21-yard line. Deshaun Hill, safety, brought him down.
Yeah, you hear that phrase about a guy's got game. Well, in Reggie Williams' case, when you say he's got game, he can make all the plays. He can make it against man-to-man. He can find the hole in the secondary, gives his quarterback a target, and then after the catch, he's going to pick up extra yardage.
Takes more than one horse to move a wagon all day, though. And the Trojans will start doubling up on him, and if necessary, they'll send 3 after him.
Well, they better start doing it.
Yep, he's going to be in the end zone first thing you know. I thought there was movement on the left side, but I guess not. And the running back, Singleton, gets nothing out of the play. Maybe lost a yard as Mike Pollard made the penetration. And Mike Pollard is big enough, strong enough, and smart enough to play along that short zone just about as good as a lineman. He's almost a tackle.
Keith, we've got problems here with these duplicate numbers. How about we've got 3 young men out here today named Williams. And guess what number they wear? 1. You've got Reggie, Jafar, and Mike. How about that? So I will forgive you if you forgive me.
And they're going to burn the clock, and now they got to spend a timeout to keep from doing it at 1:06 to play in the first quarter. Southern California leading Washington by a score of 7-0. The kind of ball game that they would prefer, the 2 coaches, well, here's what they told us.
You know, I'm hoping for a close game. I'm hoping that, you know, we are in this ball game right into the fourth quarter because we found ways to win in the fourth quarter in years past, and we did it again last week, and our kids will not blink when that occurs.
If we can slow these guys down and not let them really move the football, I think our offense is going to be real steady. I think we've come to a point now where we can make first downs, we can move the football, we can hold the ball and keep it away from our opponents some. But we got to keep these guys from scoring fast.
Well, so far, so good.
Keith, sometimes the quarterback gets confused just a touch as to where to line up. Right now, Pickett is behind his center. Now he's going to move as he sets his receivers. He moves over the guard. He thought he was over the guard. He was going to snap the ball. You talk about a surprise. Lined up originally over the left guard, then moved back to the center.
You ever do that?
Not that I will ever admit. What are you, crazy?
I thought maybe you'd give me a quick answer. Might even tell the truth.
Never.
It's 2nd down and 11. Pickett throwing to the sidelines, and it is intended for Frederick, incomplete. Charles Frederick. Double coverage on him going down toward the corner.
Yeah, this is familiar down and distance for Cody Pickett, and he's been very, very effective picking up first downs throughout the season, but he has been under a lot of pressure because this running attack has gone nowhere. Singleton has got 1 carry today for -1 yard. Braxton Clement 5 carries, -5 yards rushing.
There's confusion out there. Eddie Jackson, the wideout who had just gone into the ball game. They wanted trips at the top of the picture. Now they empty the backfield as Clement comes out of there, and Pickett's back to throw it. The ball is thrown. It's caught by the tight end Ware. Ware's inside the 10-yard line at first and goal to go.
Keith, Kevin Ware got a pick from the umpire. He was being guarded by Melvin Simmons, and there was a collision right in the middle here. Watch Ware come to this side of the field, and watch what happens to the umpire and Melvin Simmons. The umpire's got to step up on that play and follow the offensive line as they retreat in their pass blocking. He backed up and got in the way of the linebacker.
And Dave McCullough is wishing he had stepped one way or the other and not been run over. But he seems to be all right. So it's first down and goal now for Washington. The ball is at the Southern California 9. They'll run it. They're stubborn. It goes to the 5 and a little bit inside as Singleton carries. He's 195 pounds, and he hit in there with what appeared to be some authority.
If you're USC, you got to be thinking that Pickett is going to put up the fade to the wide side of the field here to Reggie Williams. Williams at 6'4" will be guarded by Marcel Almond, who is making his first start as a corner for SC. He's 6 foot tall. He's a former wide receiver, very strong, very physical, but also very inexperienced.
Wilbur Hooks has come out of the game. He was in for that one play, and now Reggie Williams is back. He's over here on the bottom of the picture. Number 1, that's Frederick going in motion. They got the 2 of them on this side. They put that ball in the air, and it's well over the head of Reggie Williams. He was well defended, and I'm not sure that Pickett could have touched it in.
Yeah, I think there was a little miscommunication there. It looked like Pickett was expecting a different type of route from Reggie Williams, but there were 3 or 4 Trojans on the inside there looking for that route.
So there's 9 ticks remaining on the first quarter clock. The ball is at the 5-yard line of Southern California, and it is third down and goal to go for Washington. Empty backfield. Pickett's pass. Touchdown. Paul Arnold back of the end zone. Made the catch. Huskies are on the board.
Keith, that's really the key. He found the dead spot in the back of the end zone. Defensive backs are taught not to go any deeper than 2 or 3 yards in the end zone. Make the quarterback throw the ball over your head. Arnold, the senior wide receiver, former running back, found that spot. Pickett hung in there and gave it to him.
John Anderson is on now for the extra point try. Cody Pickett does the holding, snaps a little bit inside, but he gets it down. The kick's up and good. Elliot Zajac is the man doing the snapping. He's an offensive guard, but Elliot's been doing the snapping for a couple of seasons for the Huskies, so we're all even. As we come very close to the end of the first quarter, we've got 4 seconds.
Well, again, Pickett does it on third down. Arnold's going to come right back here. Watch the defenders just settle before they get too deep in the end zone. You can't afford to have a guy catch the ball in front of you. Arnold swings around the back over the head of Mike Pollard there and gets his second touchdown reception of the year. It took a while for that to develop. Pickett showed real good patience on a 3-step drop, and that offensive line was real solid.
The aerial pictures you're seeing today, courtesy of Goodyear's newest blimp, Spirit of America, based in Carson, which is just down the freeway. Goodyear built its first blimp back in 1925 and currently operates 3 of these airships. So we'll get the kickoff to end the first quarter of play in a 7-7 ball game. Washington still not able to run the ball much. Matter of fact, neither is Southern California. The line drive kick goes through the end zone and beyond the field of play, and that's the end of the first quarter as you have a 7-7 tie, and you're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
Back at the Coliseum, started the second quarter, tie game at 7-all. SC must pass the ball today. The Washington Huskies give up over 280 yards per game against the pass. That's last in the Pac-10. Carson Palmer, 5 of 7 so far today. His 2 incompletes were dropped. And then defensively, SC has got to get after Cody Pickett, or he'll do what he did on that drive, convert third downs and throw touchdown passes.
Trojans come to the attack now from their own 20-yard line. Sultan McCullough, the single back. You get double wide up at the top. Kareem Kelly is the man over near the sideline, so that's sore ankle. He's out there giving it a test. They go to McCullough on the play, and the Huskies have defended him very well. They got good penetration that time. Leading it with number 99 and number 59. That's Stevens and Johnson, the 2 tackles.
And that's really the key to in good run defense is that quick jump off the line of scrimmage. We've got a Husky injured having trouble getting off the ground. Looks like Greg Carruthers, their strong safety. He was also quick to come across that line of scrimmage and get in on that tackle. But you talked, Keith, earlier about the Huskies defensive line, say that they don't have a lot of great size, but they do have quickness, and they displayed it that time.
They're not touching his legs, so the legs are okay, but it looks like they might be working on that right shoulder a bit for the young man from Helena, Montana. We're just beginning the second quarter of play, and we've got a timeout. The matter of rushing the football. Neither team able to do much with it so far, and both of them featured it during the past week in their preparation for this ball game. It is second down 11 for Southern California. This time Sultan McCullough has some daylight, and he gets it out to about the 25-yard line. Now a moment with Todd Harris.
All right, Keith, the word on Greg Carruthers, who's just a left shoulder stinger. But I'll tell you what, trainer Dave Burton put him through the workouts, a series of windmills with that left arm. To make matters worse, made him kick out a few push-ups before he let him go back in. But he's all right, Keith.
Yeah, he's bounced right back on the field and went running back to his strong safety position. He's a very, very valuable guy to have because he does a lot for you.
Yeah, he's like another linebacker. When they go 8 men in the box, he is that 8th guy.
It's third down and 5 now for Southern California. They got Colbert in motion, and Palmer, as the penalty flag goes down, Palmer's pass is incomplete. It was intended for Malaifu McKenzie.
I think they're going to get Colbert for running towards the line of scrimmage.
Turned up field too soon, huh?
Yep. Ball was incomplete, so
On the offense,
expect the Huskies to refuse that, huh?
Penalty 4.
You would think so.
Yep.
Now time for the Aflac trivia question this week. Who holds the USC record for rush attempts in a game?
A lot of choices in that question.
Fourth down, and they'll punt. It's Malone in the kick. Malone had a 32-yarder his first time today, with Charles Frederick, the single deep man for Washington. Beauty. Oh, my goodness, he cured his average with that one. Back inside the 20, and for control of it, they'll give him possession out on the 21. ABC Sports presentation of college football. Brought to you by Chevy Trucks.
Talked to Keith Gilbertson about his quarterback a couple of days ago. Keith, he says he loves just about everything about Cody Pickett. Says his only fault, he says he doesn't think there's not a pass he can't complete. A lot of quarterbacks have that fault.
Chris Singleton remains the tailback for Washington. Pickett fakes it to him, gives it instead to Frederick on a reverse. Frederick's got some daylight, pretty good block on the corner over there, and he picks up a first down, and here is a series of flags being thrown on the field. Reggie Williams probably guilty of the first one, and it's against Washington.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to hold Troy Polamalu, and that's not a bad idea. You just can't get caught. But Polamalu is so quick and so strong and so difficult to block, even though he's playing on a very sore right ankle.
That was the longest run of the ball game for Washington. Would have been a first down, but instead they absorb a holding penalty.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard pick from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
Here's the reverse, and on the outsider, that's a clean block there, but right there's Polamalu and Reggie Williams. As Polamalu tries to run away, Reggie tries to tackle him.
6-yard gain on the play, 10-yard penalty, first down and 14 as they come to snap the ball.
From the 16.
Ball is on the 16-yard line with 13:34 to go in the first half of play. We got 3 wideouts, bottom of the picture. Pickett doesn't look at him, just gives the ball to Singleton, and Singleton immediately is handled by number 94, Kenichi Udeze. He's having a big ball game.
He's having his day with Rideaux, who's filling in for Nick Newton at right tackle for the Huskies. Right here is number 94. It's a draw play. Watch the explosion here. He jumps inside. Great little twist there with Mike Patterson, as Patterson occupied two Husky blockers and gave Udeze a clear shot at the running back.
And he brought him down back on the 12-yard line, so it's 2nd down and 20 now for Washington. They've got Zach Tuiasosopo in there at fullback to do some blocking. Pass is thrown toward the sidelines and way underthrown for Reggie Williams, who had attracted 3 Trojans, but he was in position. The ball's long enough, he might have caught it.
There was indecision on this throw by Cody Pickett. It looked like after he threw it, he wanted to pull it back. The ball lost its spiral and just kind of fluttered to the ground, but not a good place on the field to be indecisive. Backed up inside your 15.
Well, Reggie was the good idea because he was down near the 1st down marker.
He's always a good idea.
Yeah. 3rd and 20. Down the middle it goes. Pass is caught by Charles Frederick. But that is short of a 1st down by about 4 yards. And so Washington will have to punt it.
Short of the 1st down marker. Brings up 4th down. 4 yards to go.
Again, you can always go back to a penalty for a good reason why it's difficult to convert on 3rd down. Holding penalty against Reggie Williams killed this drive.
Instead of being 2nd down and 4, it wound up 3rd and 20. McLaughlin gets it out of there and gets a good kick this time. That's one of the better ones he's had in recent days. There's a penalty flag because there was encroachment on the halo. They were inside the halo. You got to give him 2 yards. It was Wilbur Hooks making the penetration and causing the penalty flag. Greg Carlson was the man who was waiting for the ball here. That's Greg Darrell.
Yeah, and number 7 is Wilbur Hooks, and that's too close.
52 yards on the punt.
It's about a 6-foot circle that you've got to stay out of. Wilbur should know better than that, being a senior.
Interference with the opportunity, catch a kick on the kicking team. Penetration of the 2-yard belt. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Yeah, they made that a 10-yard penalty too, which really hurt you. So we've got time out on the field. 11:50 to go in the 1st half. It's a 7-7 tie. The running games of both these teams in default for the moment. The ball has been thrown a lot here in the first few minutes of the contest. The whole 1st quarter, of course. But it wound up with a 7-7 tie. And right now, that penalty puts Southern California out on the 32-yard line with the 1st down. Justin Fargas is your tailback, and he's got the ball bouncing to the out. No, he doesn't either. It goes the other way, and Carson Palmer keeping it and sees some daylight up the middle, and the big quarterback is going to pick up about 7 yards on the carry. That was a very good fake by Justin Fargas. He fooled me and at least 3 Huskies.
Well, he did not fool Kai Ellis there. And Ellis, that's what a defensive end is supposed to look for. Look for the reverses, look for the bootlegs, keep your containment, force the runner back inside. Good play by Palmer, picking up all those yards. Longest run of the day for SC.
Ellis is remarkable that he's able to come back from double knee injuries. He's had a lot of trouble with his knees.
2 surgeries last year.
Yep. Palmer keeps it. Long and deep. He's got his man. It's Keary Colbert. Touchdown, USC. $61 yards.
And Carson Palmer looked up. He saw true freshman Nate Robinson, number 13 for Washington, on his junior wide receiver, Keary Colbert. Talk about a beautiful pass, leading the receiver, allowing the receiver to adjust on the pass, and then get it into the end zone. Great throw by Palmer.
Killeen for the point. Malone holds it. Good. So 2 long bombs by Carson Palmer, and Southern California has gone to a 14-7 lead. That is the longest pass of the year for Southern California.
You see how Colbert got inside, and now the speed and the pass right out to the fingertips. Again, the Huskies do not have a safety in the middle of the field. They're trying to bring pressure on Palmer, but you just don't throw it any farther or any better on a deep pass. 11 touchdown passes on the year now for Carson Palmer. Again, it was a play-action pass. That's how he got Mike Williams deep in the first quarter. So both deficiencies for Washington showing up here in the first half, Keith. The inability to run the ball on offense, and then a very porous pass defense getting bombed.
The sound of grumbling grows louder in the Puget Sound country, too, because I noticed the media is starting to bring up the halcyon days of defense for the Huskies back in the decade of the 90s. And all about fetching into the archives, you know.
Gene, I love that tradition the Huskies used to have when they gave their great defenders full helmets.
Yep.
I contributed to quite a few, especially Bill Cahill.
Good kick down the middle, going into the end zone and out of the end zone. It'll come out to the 28-yard line. We posed the Aflac trivia question a little while ago about who holds the USC record for rush attempts in the game, and the answer is this. Ricky Bell, 51 attempts, October 9, 1976, against Washington State. Speaking of Washington State, they're playing this week. They're idle, so is Oregon State. And Oregon's out to a 21-0 lead over Arizona State up in Eugene. And that's where the Southern California Trojans go next week. Eugene. We're going with them. That is a huge ball game in the Pac-10 conference. Pickett to the sideline. And defending on the play is Darrell Rideaux, his 5, 8 or 9 inches against Paul Arnold at 6'1". And Rideaux wins the skirmish.
And he did it. He won the skirmish because he did what he's told. When the receiver looks for the ball, you stay good and tight and reach your arms up in there and make sure he doesn't bring it down. That was great coverage. I'm not sure why Pickett decided to throw it to a man who's so well covered.
Face guarding is allowed in college football, in case that crossed your mind while you were watching that. Pickett steps away from the pressure, throws it high, and it's incomplete. The pass was intended for Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson comes from, of all places, Columbus, Ohio.
No relation, though.
No. Not in Columbus.
It's from the banks of the Olentangy, then.
Yes, it is. Buckeyes, however, are not home this week. They're in Madison, playing Wisconsin. Third down and 10 on the 20 for Washington. Trojans 4-man front, asserting themselves quite well. That ball is away in a hurry, thrown to Paul Arnold. And the Trojans are all over him. Jason Leach, sophomore out of Chino, makes the hit on him. He's been playing in relief of the injured Troy Polamalu. He's in there to give Polamalu a bit of rest occasionally today.
3 straight passes for the Huskies on that possession. None of them aimed at number 1, Reggie Williams.
So on 4th and 4, they're punting. McLaughlin to punt it and Carlson to receive it for USC. Penalty flag, no pressure, not a particularly good kick. Ball is caught at the 41-yard line by Carlson. He's trying to get some help. He's still trying, and he gets a little bit out of nothing. But let's see about the penalty flag.
Penalty flag.
They'll probably decline that and take the ball where it is because that's very good field position out near the 47-yard line. umpire today is Dave McCullough. The head linesman Dan Antonetti. Chuck Zubin, the line judge. Field judge David Adams. Colin McDermott, the side judge. And Terry Wilson is the back judge. And we've got a timeout. You see the competition in the consecutive reception in games, and Howery has his catch. Kareem Kelly does not have it. Here's Carson Palmer putting it in the air for Mike Williams. And that's a good defensive play by Sam Cunningham.
That ball was underthrown, or that might have been another bombs away touchdown for the Trojans. Kareem Kelly still looking for a catch. There he is, number 2 on the sidelines. Came into the game with a right ankle sprain. You can see all the tape on that right ankle, but well, you would think that Norm Chow would figure out a way to get him 1 reception so he can tie that Pac-10 record. That is now held by Dennis Northcutt and Keenan Howery.
Well, Kelly's out there at the top of your picture. The wide out. Carson Palmer rolls around, looks for him, lets it go, and it is incomplete. Thrown too deep. And the man running onto the ball was Brendan Hancock, fullback out of the backfield.
Keith, I think Carson Palmer's getting a little bit greedy now. That's 2 long balls he's thrown where he really didn't need to. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, and it has been bombs away for Palmer and the Trojans. 43-yard touchdown strike to Mike Williams. That led SC to a 7-0 lead, and now the 61-yard bomb to Keary Colbert, 14-7 SC. All 6 of Palmer's completions have been to those 2 receivers.
And Colbert is the leading receiver. He's become one of the favorites, and Palmer says he runs the best routes of any of them. The ball is thrown and completed to Colbert, and Colbert will have a first down for Southern California at Washington 32-yard line.
And people may wonder, what does that mean, you run good pass routes? Well, that was a good example of one. As he cut across the middle and went to the deep outside, he really cut it off sharp. Watch how quick his feet are, and watch the lines that he makes with his patterns. Very sharp, away from the defender, that time Jimmy Newell.
So the Trojans are getting close to knocking on the door again. With 9 minutes to go in the first half, they lead 14-7. Palmer's got it, looking deep, goes inside to Mike Williams, and Williams makes the catch at the 15-yard line, makes it right in front of Derek Johnson.
Now 8 completions for Carson Palmer, all 8 to either Mike Williams or Keary Colbert. That time that was a nice, smart move by Palmer, not going to the deep receiver and finding his outlet, Mike Williams, who paid it off with a difficult catch.
Williams and Colbert both leave the ball game, and Kareem Kelly comes back along with Grant Matos. Matos is considered a possession guy, good receiver. Pitch it back to Justin Fargas. And Fargas is a tough guy. He whacks in there 4 yards on that carry. Justin brings 210 pounds to the line of scrimmage. Playing at Michigan, if you recall, suffered a severe leg injury. Sat out a year as he transferred back home to Southern California. Played over here at Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame. And he was all everything in football, offense, defense, and one of the champions in track sprints. McCullough and Malifo McKenzie are in the backfield now. McKenzie moves out into a wide receiver position. Reggie Williams is back. It is second down. They try the interior with McCullough. And Joe Lobaton is in there to make the hit. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Williams is up at the top of the picture. You might want to put your eyes on him. Palmer lets it go, and his arm was hit just as he threw the ball. He had plenty of pressure and people climbing all over him. Kai Ellis is the principal on the play for Washington. and he spoiled it.
Yeah, and he knocked the quarterback down, which is the first time that has happened this afternoon against Carson Palmer. If he does not get that pressure, if Ellis is not in his face, that was very close to being a touchdown, as Malifo McKenzie on the wheel route there, number 21, being covered by Jimmy Newell, who had a good angle on it.
Ryan Killeen is in for the field goal try of 30 yards. 6 out of 10 on this season. Down the highway. So at 6:53 to play in the first half, Washington extends the lead to 17-7. There's a Trojan on the field. It's number 16, the kicker, Killeen. He's down.
Let's see how Ryan Killeen was injured on the play. Pete Carroll would like to know too.
His own man, Alex Holmes, sticks his helmet right in his bread basket and knocked the air out of him, I think.
There is no air in that body right there. Kickers aren't used to that either. He probably doesn't realize he doesn't have any air in there.
So what happened? I thought Alex was my pal.
265 pounds of pal.
He got redirected into his own man, and so it looks like he'll be all right as he trots away. There was the coach obviously is very concerned about his kicker being hurt, but the appendages looked all right. I think that Alex's helmet went right into his breathing apparatus. Next Saturday, a doubleheader for you. That'll be one of the highlights of the season as Notre Dame goes against Florida State. That's at 9 in the morning out here on the coast, and then at 12:30 Pacific, the Trojans face another good one again, the Oregon Ducks up at Eugene, Oregon. That's on ABC Sports at 9 in the morning and 12:30 Pacific next Saturday. And Oregon now 21-7 over Arizona State in the first half of that ball game. David Davis is on the field now. He will kick off. He was the kicker at the start of the season. Had a little run into some trouble, and Killeen succeeded him. Now Davis is in to handle the job with Killeen trying to get pumped up again. That's no fun to have your air supply diminish all of a sudden. Your body gives you a hard time about it. It hurts too. Yep. High pop-up. Not very deep. Back at the 21-yard line, the ball is taken by the Huskies' Charles Frederick. Frederick has a lot of speed, gets it up to about the 38, 39-yard line. And speaking of
42 yards to Jonathan Orr, and Wisconsin is in front of Ohio State. 14-13. Keith.
Thank you, John. You see that the other day, a young Claret was thinking about challenging the NFL's position on freshmen.
Yeah, he's got no shot at that one.
No. Things are bad enough as it is. We start letting freshmen go, then let's close the door. Ball give Braxton Clemens, and Clemens trying to sweep the right side, and for a change they get something plus on it. It's about 3-4 yards. Melvin Simmons comes over to make the tackle for USC.
It's important for Cody Pickett to look number one's way again. Reggie Williams has 3 catches for 52 yards so far in this first half, but has not seen the ball lately.
Ball is on the 41-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Pickett gives it to Clement again. This time he gets good hard run. He gets some pretty good blocking as well. Elliot Zajac got in front of him and helped him to pick up a first down and put the ball on the Southern California side of the field.
That was really a well-executed running play. Best one of the day so far. Here's Zajac, and here is tight end Kevin Ware. The down block by Newton, or rather by Meadow. There's a nice kick out block by Elliot Zajac. He's important to get back into that lineup. Played with a broken ankle.
And ouch, broken ankle. He's playing with it. I thought it was healed.
He healed in February.
Oh, okay. Pickett hit, slips away, sacked. Pretty good stuff going on there for Omar Nazel. Number 56, who's playing, we're told, with a cracked sternum. And I don't know how in the world you could do that.
Talk about ouch. Nazel, this is his 4th sack of the season. There he is on the end of the line of scrimmage, working against Khalif Barnes. Again, it's a nice twist there, as Bernard Riley forces Pickett up into the pocket where Nazel is just hanging around.
It'll be 2nd down and 18 for the Huskies.
This is really a well-coached defensive line. They can dominate a game against the run and get effective pass rush and sacks.
But having lost Sean Cody for the season with a knee injury really took a lot of zing out of the middle of their defense. Washington spends a timeout. We've got 4:54 to go in the first half. .454 to go in the first half as the Huskies now are in deep trouble at 2nd down and 18. Everything in the world says pass. Trojans have 4-man front. Pollard, the linebacker, sits there in the middle. And they're coming up. The corners are creeping up to cover the receivers. The ball is thrown short into the middle of the field to Reggie Williams. And he was in the spot that Mike Pollard had just vacated by going inside. And he makes the catch in traffic.
This really sets up the classic confrontation between a very good offense and a very good defense. So far, Washington on the afternoon, 4 out of 8 converting 3rd downs.
Well, they've got 3rd down and 12 on the board right now. Clemens stays in the backfield for the moment, at least. Pollard drops out into short zone coverage. Pickett getting some heat, gets his pass away. The ball is caught by Clement out of the backfield. He was the 3rd or 4th man in the progression for Pickett, and he finally found him, but it's going to be well short of the 1st down. Polamalu and Almond make the tackle.
Yeah, it's so key for a defense to be able to just rush 4 guys and get pressure on the quarterback, and they're able to drop 7 into zone coverage. Watch Pickett looking around, got a little bit of pressure there. That forced him to his outlet receiver, who came up way too short for that 1st down. Watch SC bail out and play their zones and just wait for Pickett to find somebody, then converge, make tackle, bring out the punt team.
McLaughlin into punt, 33-32. He is at one Goodman of 53 yards. This is not too bad. It's going to go down toward the corner. He's on the coffin corner gig, and it doesn't work. It bounces into the end zone, will come out to the 20. A Valvoline halftime show. John and Terry will have the highlights and analysis from today's games in college football around the country. And there is a big one tonight over in the Rocky Mountain. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame are in there against the Air Force Falcons. Both undefeated. That'll be on ESPN at 7 o'clock. That's 2 teams you wouldn't have expected going into the season to be 6-0 at this point. First down for USC. Whistle. They burn the clock?
No, false start.
False start.
Illegal snap. Snap infraction on the offense. Yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the epitome of a false start. When the center shakes the ball, obviously our center Norm Katnick for SC forgot the snap count. And that can get a quarterback's fingers broken.
Yeah. So make it 1st down and 15 for the Trojans as the ball backs up 5. Huskies with a 5-man front. Now Jafar Williams pulls off. Pitch it back. McCullough looking for a crack. Making the tackle, Josh Miller. Josh Miller has played very well for Washington along the trenches defensively.
Southern California on top by 10, 17-7. It was 7-7 first quarter. USC picked up 10 points in the second quarter at 2:50 to go in the first half.
Both teams searching for a rushing attack and not finding it.
Both teams coming into this ball game with a conference loss. Loser has 2 losses. Probably no chance at the Rose Bowl. I say that probably because people have won it with 2 losses. And Palmer puts it up. And it is almost and should have been intercepted, I do believe, by Derek Johnson. Derek looked up into the sun, may have lost it, but it went right between his hands.
That's the type of play the Huskies desperately need, to get some type of turnover. This ball, again, throwing into the teeth of the zone coverage. Excellent job by Johnson recognizing the pass, but not finishing the play.
So it is 3rd and 11 now for the Trojans. Not a whole lot of yards on 3rd down. But enough. They lead by 10. And they go to the run on 3rd and 11. That's quite conservative.
And their leading tackler, middle linebacker Ben Madavi of the Huskies, just sitting there in the middle of the defense. Closed on that draw easily.
Walk on to captain. That happens more than you might think.
Yeah, he's responsible for this man right here. That's all he's got to look at. He recognizes the blocking, being the senior that he is, captain of the defense. Big play.
Malone to punt the Trojans. No pressure on him. It's a good kick. And taken back at the 28-yard line by Charles Frederick. He's dangerous, and finally enough Trojans get down the field to put him away at about the 38-yard line. The man who has been in the mind of Madavi for a long time and a great influence on his young life. This is his story about his grandpa.
My grandfather fought in World War II, and you know, he was a big role model in my life. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years back, but I've always had these dog tags, and it's kind of like, you know, kind of like a good luck pendant, and he's always with me. So if he's with me, I'm always in, you know, good shape.
The old military dog tag.
The Huskies should have dog tags.
Smart, Elliot. That's an Oregon Duck talking. Ball is thrown inside to Kevin Ware, the tight end, and upended by Grudegood, and he's going to have to the 45-yard line on that play. So a 7-yard pickup.
1 timeout remaining for Washington, so you see Pickett hurriedly calling the play at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 3. Minute 15 to play. The ball is thrown low, and they don't give him a catch. It was intended for Ware, and it was short hopped.
But again, Keith, Reggie Williams caught 3 passes in that first quarter for 52 yards and has not seen a ball since.
Well, Pete Carroll very clearly said we're going to box his ears and bump him around some and see if we can discourage him some. But they're apparently doing a pretty good job of bumping, but he remains very dangerous. 3rd down and 3 to the near sidelines. Quick snap pass to Clement. He dropped it. Ball was low, and Jason Leach was there. And you had the 3 wideouts at the top of the screen, and Pickett never looked that way.
Tried to get the ball, as you said, Keith, in a hurry outside to Clement, but when you throw it to a running back out there, you got to put it on his body. He's not used to having to stretch for one, especially with a defender as Leach coming at him.
McLaughlin's 5th punt of the day. Penalty flag in the air. The ball is bounding at the 20. Rolling around toward the 15, and they're going to roll dead at about the 16-yard line. But let's see about the flag back up the field.
Now, it was 4th down and 3, Keith, so if this is against SC, this is a huge mistake.
Nope, false start, Washington. Penalty of 5 yards would have given him 1st down. But the other way. This is a team, apparently, and this is the first time I've seen them this year, that it's just been a little bit off, a little bit off, a little bit off, and it just can't seem to put it all in the same box and get the lid on it, get it all together.
You know, Keith, it goes back to tradition, too, because Washington traditionally has been tough with defense and a good, sound running game. And that combination produces a lot of wins for the Huskies.
Just as what they have now can produce a lot of losses. But it's under Rick Neuheisel, they have a history of fourth quarter. We'll see. Trojans run the ball with Sultan McCullough, and it looks to me like they're happy to go to the clubhouse with a 10-point lead as they get the clock to rolling here at 50 seconds and counting.
Sultan looking around. How did that happen? How did that tackle happen? He was just too hesitant in the hole and got tackled from behind by a defensive lineman. Kai Ellis came. Sultan never saw him.
There's no time for dancing back on your 15-yard line. You've got to pick your slot and go where the play is designed to go, and as quickly as you can. No time to search. Into the stack and nothing there. He ran into one of his offensive linemen. The offensive lineman had been shoved back into his face, and that will send them to the clubhouse for the halftime break as the time runs out, with Southern California leading the Washington Huskies 17-7 at the halftime break.
Huskies 7.
Keith, SC's defense doing a great job this afternoon. This Husky offense averaging 33.5 points per game. They only have 7 here in the first half.
Now Todd Harris with Pete Carroll.
All right, Coach, you seem to have found a new friend in the long ball today.
Yeah, that was nice. We got some big plays. We really haven't found the consistency that we want yet, so we're going to halftime, see if we can get straightened out, get back to going, moving that football with some normal pace.
As far as the defense goes, pretty happy with that long one they got on you?
Yeah, we had that bad drive, you know, but other than that, we played pretty well.
All right, good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Coming up next, the Valvoline halftime show with John Saunders and Terry Bowden. Here in Los Angeles, it's the Trojans by 10.
The first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. From Times Square in New York, John Saunders and Terry Bowden.
Sun's starting to dip below the buildings here at Times Square and Times Square Stadium in New York City as we get ready for our halftime show right here. Sun's starting to set on a lot of teams who are on college football as one. One of them didn't look like it would be Iowa State. 6-1, best start since 1938. And remember that 1 yard short against Florida State. If they get that, they're looking at a perfect 7-0 right now, but still having to go against Oklahoma and Bob Stoops. And Stoops' team coming off the win against Texas. Would they let down? Didn't look like it early. Tony Yelp. It's blocked by Derek Strait, recovered in the end zone by Terrence Sims. But that whiff right there is that you see he has an unbelievable game. Does it again today with 2 touchdowns. Kewan Jones also has 2 touchdown runs. Seneca Wallace at the start of the day, we trumped him for the Heisman Trophy, but boy, has that Oklahoma defense shut him down.
And nobody game plans a team better than Oklahoma. They had a great game plan for Seneca Wallace. Keep him hemmed up. Don't let him scramble. Get outside and make something happen. The way he could have hurt Oklahoma was to get outside of his own game plan. Do something they couldn't prepare for, but they kept him hemmed up all day. He's made no difference in this game.
All right, Rutgers against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech had won 9 consecutive games against Rutgers, including 50-0 last year. Lee Suggs, 197 yards. Kevin Jones, 132 yards. The Untouchables doing it again. You wonder if they're going to have to pass the ball a little more, especially against Miami in the final game of the season. On to the Big Ten. Ohio State against Wisconsin. Maurice Clarett, the freshman we talked about. Like a play earlier, it didn't work. They saw something different, came back with the same play.
They saw the weakness and repeated the play, and it was open a second time. Remember, Wisconsin beat Ohio State last year. They're not going to panic. But Ohio State, their last big game, Washington State, earlier in the year, they were down 7-6. You couldn't see them panic. You'd see them do something else. No, second half they came out. Maurice Clarett down the gut, down the gut, down the gut, and they pounded them in the second half. Watch Ohio State panic in the second half.
Buckeyes last unbeaten team in the Big Ten, and they have their eyes on the Fiesta Bowl and the national championship. Oregon unbeaten in the Pac-10, taking on Arizona State. Ontario Smith, 57 yards on this touchdown run. And look at him pull away from the defenders as well. They open up a 14-0 lead at that point. Jason Fife has a touchdown pass. Smith actually has 2 touchdown runs now for Arizona State. Andrew Walter with a touchdown pass. Oregon on top 21-10. Washington and USC, a couple of great quarterbacks here. Cody Pickett, 5 yards to Paul Arnold, and it ties the game at 7 apiece. But then Carson Palmer's going to come back and say, I like to go deep. 61 yards to Colbert, who hauls this in and nearly gets tripped up at the goal line, but stays on his feet. Takes it in, Palmer, with 2 touchdown passes. And you said at the start of the day that you like USC. They both had great quarterbacks, but one team had a running game, the other didn't.
That's right. Carson Palmer has running attack that makes the defense defend the run, so that when he throws the football, he's got a chance to throw for touchdowns. He doesn't have to throw a lot of dink stuff. You watch, when he throws the football, he's got people down over the top because they're trying to stop that running game, and then the defense for Southern Cal. That's why Cody Pickett throws for a lot of yardage, but it's in between the 20s.
Yeah, the Pac-10 has been exciting to watch with the quarterbacks there this year. Alabama against Ole Miss in Tuscaloosa. Ole Miss 1-19 there. Brody Croyle here goes to Dre Fulgham. Defender falls on the tackle. Alabama takes it in to take a 21-7 lead. Santonio Beard has 2 touchdown runs. That's the difference right now at 65 yards. Headed towards 100. They're at halftime, 21-7. Colorado and Baylor. Colorado's won 4 straight against Baylor. Chris Brown with 3 touchdowns. Robert Hodge with a touchdown run as well, 34-0. Brown with 167 yards. Don't forget, third round coverage of the Disney we had today. It's Skip Kendall and Chris DeMarco and Scott Hoke, all at 19 under par. Tiger Woods at 14 under par, so he's sitting 5 back. He has finished today. Final round coverage tomorrow on ABC. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock Pacific Time. This is the Valvoline Halftime Show. We'll continue with more from Times Square in New York in a moment. Irish of Notre Dame, will they still be unbeaten? As they face Bobby Bowden in Tallahassee, Florida State very dangerous. Then at 3:30, regional action. Some will see Penn State take on Ohio State in the Big Ten. Others will watch Seneca Wallace and Iowa State battle Chris Sims and Texas. Some of you will be in the Pac-10 to see USC and Oregon. Oregon trying to remain unbeaten. Or in the ACC, Virginia and Georgia Tech. Check local listings for the game available in your area. Welcome back once again. John Saunders alongside of Terry Bowden. In the SEC, Georgia looking to go to 7-0, the first time since 1982. And today they'd have to get it done against a Vanderbilt team that had some bus problems getting to the game. A little bit of an accident there. The Georgia mascot was ready. So was David Green. 35 yards of the touchdown to Fred Gibson. And he has plenty of time in the pocket to loft this one wide open, 7-0. And then David Green did it with the arm, does it with the legs as well. 11 yards on this touchdown run when everyone's covered, as Georgia wins it 48-17 to go to 7-0. Musa Smith, 14 carries, 102 yards, and a couple of touchdowns.
Well, that running game's what they had to work on. They passed it very well. David Green did a great job. They didn't rotate DJ Shockley, which is smart because you cause a controversy. David Green's done a great job. The running game has come along, and you like this. Paying attention to Vandy next week against Kentucky. Get that one by because you got Florida after that.
Exactly. Back to the ACC now. NC State against Duke. NC State looking to go 8-0 for the first time since 1967. Phillip Rivers, 26 of 37, 364 yards. This guy's the most efficient quarterback there is in college football right now.
Well, I had him in high school at football camp. I had him when he was a high school student. He's the son of a football coach. He was born to be a quarterback. He knows it, makes little mistakes, and never repeats mistakes. And when a guy does that, you can take a lot of chances with your offense. And how about these Bowden boys? Chuck Amatum, Mark Richt, both long-timers at Florida State. They're 15-0, both in the top 10.
The other Bowden boys, Tommy's at Clemson. You're sitting here, so these are the new ones right now. Let's talk a little Big Ten right now. Michigan against Purdue. The Michigan Wolverines have just one loss this year. That, of course, to Notre Dame. Lloyd Carr has his squad ready, and John Navarre seems to get better week after week. Looking for Braylon Edwards here, 31 yards on the touchdown pass. Navarre, 17 of 35, 271 yards. That's a career high as Michigan gets the win. Iowa against Indiana. Brad Banks. You want to see a wide open player. He just looks downfield, 65 yards to Maurice Brown. Banks, 11 of 16, 190 yards and a touchdown. Iowa continues to roll as well. Penn State against Northwestern. Northwestern cannot stop anybody on the run, and that's why we practice running right here. And Larry Johnson gets plenty of practice as well. 22 yards here. Looks like he stopped in the backfield. Regroups. Cuts it out towards the sideline, back in, back to the sideline. As he gets 22 yards, that set up a touchdown. And then Johnson here, 6 yards, 257 yards rushing on the day. That is a Penn State record. Zach Mills, 10 of 15, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Penn State, you look at this team, both their losses in overtime, or they might be perfect.
They're playing so well, but with those 2 conference losses, the best they're going to do is be a spoiler right now. You have to, these teams, you have to like Iowa. They are playing so well. They have great running attack, great throwing the football. They're getting better on defense. They don't play Ohio State. They got Michigan. That's the only game. They got Michigan at Michigan, but I think after that they can run the table.
But the Ohio State Buckeyes, they've survived a couple of early scares, and right now with Craig Krenzel at quarterback, it's almost as if they're saying, you don't beat us, you just throw an occasional pass, we'll run the ball and be efficient.
They're the favorite, without a doubt. With that running attack, they just throw it efficiently, and they've got the best team in the conference.
All right, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the only unremaining.
Ball returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. A pleasant afternoon in Southern California. We're at the Coliseum where Southern California leads Washington by a score of 17-7. Keith Jackson along with Dan Fouts and Todd Harris. And here are some numbers, Dan, that I think are very interesting.
Well, since Marcus Tuiasosopo left to go play for the Oakland Raiders, you can see 100 yards difference in the rushing attack. Yards per game for the Washington Huskies. And going against this USC defense in that second quarter, the Huskies had 4 possessions. They all ended in 4 punts. This is the best defense in the conference, and if you cannot run the ball, you're going to have a very long afternoon.
Yeah, I know the game has turned into one of pitch and catch, but you simply cannot control the tempo of the ball game if you can't run it.
Well, the offensive linemen, if they're always back pass blocking, they lose that power up front. And what you're seeing on both teams today, the offensive linemen are not creating any space for the running backs to get through.
Now we'll look at our Pacific Life game summary.
And just to emphasize the rushing yardage, you can see that 5 yards rushing for Washington, and former starting tailback Rich Alexis has yet to carry the ball today. We should see more of him in the second half because obviously Chris Singleton and Braxton Clemens not getting the job done.
The Trojans will kick off. The Huskies will receive it. Ryan Killeen is back on the field to do the kicking, and there's conversation between Steve Sarkisian and Carson Palmer. Sarkisian is the former player from BYU and was coached by Norm Chow, who is the offensive coordinator at Southern California. Here are the Trojans kicking off. And the Huskies back up into the end zone. Frederick watches it go beyond the field of play. And now we'll check in with Todd Harris.
Coach, you said coming into this game you needed to find a hot back. It doesn't look like you found it. What's game 2 now?
Well, we've got to see if we can still establish some form of running so we just don't get one-dimensional. But obviously, we've got to start making some plays. They're kind of got an envelope over the top of us. We've got to see if we can puncture it a little bit.
You got a great number 1 out there and a good quarterback. Time to let it go?
Yeah, we need to try a little bit and see if we can get the ball down the field.
Okay, that obviously recorded a few minutes ago. The game is underway now as Washington comes up first down on their own 20-yard line. Cody Pickett in the first half. Some success, but not enough. Turns and hands the ball to Chris Singleton, who's in there at the tailback position. They've got a fellow named Kenny James on this football team as a tailback, but they don't want to use him. They want to keep him for the future. Here are the numbers of Cody Pickett in the first half.
His favorite receiver has been Reggie Williams, 4 catches for 58 yards. But Neuheisel talked about that envelope. That means he's facing a zone defense in SC. They do not want to let number 1 get deep.
2nd down and 7 for the Huskies. Pickett, play action, looks left, goes right high. Incomplete, intended for Eddie Jackson.
Broken up by Darrell.
Reggie Williams in the first half, especially in the first quarter, was very effective against Marcel Allman. But this is when SC was playing more man-to-man pass defense. You can see his ability after the catch. The SC changed to more zone, and that has been more effective in preventing the big play to Reggie Williams.
3rd down and 7 now for the Huskies. Singleton to single back. Pickett looking to throw. Ball slapped loose. Falls on it, covers it, protects it, and that's going to be 4th down and long. And here again, Todd.
Well, Keith, follow this under, believe it or not, at halftime, Washington quarterback Cody Pickett was complaining that he felt the balls were overinflated. So they had the official check them, and like that high school you mentioned a few weeks ago in Montana, sure enough, they were overinflated. right now it doesn't seem to be his problem.
Lost 6 yards.
4th down and 13 for the Huskies. I don't know. What does an overly inflated ball do, Dan?
Well, obviously it does not fit his hand as a regularly inflated ball would. I've heard of balls being deflated, but never overinflated.
It's pretty hard. Ball is fair caught back at the 37-yard line by Greg Carlson, and the Trojans have good field position for their first possession of the second half. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Pontiac, fuel for the soul. The Hartford, always thinking ahead. And Miller High Life, to live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. The autumn haze, as we're wont to say out here, covering Southern California today, at least the Los Angeles basin. And the Trojans on first down will throw the ball. Carson Palmer throws to the short zone, goes Alex Holmes, his tight end. And the big fella is going to have a first down. Alex, 265 pounds of trouble from Sherman Oaks when he's got a football tucked under his arm.
A heck of a catch by Alex Holmes. Here he is, lined up right here, just a down and out route from the tight end position. Ball's going to be thrown just a little bit behind him. Watch him reach back, one hand, corral it, drag Ben Madavi forward for the first down for SC.
Incidentally, that halftime score at Oregon and Arizona State, it's the Ducks 21 and Arizona State 10 now. The Sun Devils mounting something of a comeback, and Sultan McCullough almost broke that. He was very close to getting out into the open field and causing some trouble. In the open field, he is very difficult.
He showed last week that he's starting to develop a more elusive running style as he hits across that left side of the offensive line. One cut and then go. Madavi with a long gainer stopping tackle.
Palmer throws. That's good. It's caught by Mike Williams on a slant pattern. Williams will go down at the 30-yard line, and easily a first down for USC. Jimmy Newell made the tackle.
Mike Williams had a rough start to his afternoon, dropping this pass into the hands of Sam Cunningham on the first play of the game. Then he dropped this one, but then Norm Chow went right back to him next possession. 9-yarder on the hitch route, and then the 43-yard bomb as he gets behind the entire Husky secondary for the touchdown.
And it's 1st and 10 Trojans, Husky 30. Palmer gives it to McCullough. The idea, of course, is to pound on them, and pound on them. Well, they're pounding, but the other guys are pounding right back.
Yeah, and part of the pounding is to control the tempo of the game. You can see SC is taking their time getting back to the huddle, getting the play called. Now, with this type of field position, you know you're in field goal range. That ground game will help control the clock.
2nd down and 9. Palmer to Holmes. Holmes juked one man, got away from him. It's McKenzie, I'm sorry, Malopo McKenzie. And McKenzie, who is a running back by trade and is fast becoming very effective receiver.
Yeah, they moved him to the fullback position, and he is the top receiver as a running back in the conference. Multiple skilled young man. 6-year senior. Picking up a nice gain there on 2nd down. All the receiving yards that Malifo has made this year out of the backfield.
Single back, McCullough. Contact. Miller came across for Washington.
And that'll be a first down if he wasn't drawn off.
About 3rd and 2.5. So the offside will give him a first down, but Washington.
Keith, that's some of that experience of Carson Palmer. As a quarterback, you can tell when they're anxious.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, yardage results on a first down.
So the Huskies begging the case, but to no good. It goes against them, and it'll be first down USC next Saturday. A doubleheader for you starting at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and Florida State. And then at 12:30 Pacific time, you'll have the same Trojans up in Eugene against the University of Oregon Ducks, who are ranked number 6 starting play today. This McKenzie. And he had a pretty good rip on a guy to get McCullough almost again out of there. Sultan is now getting closer and closer to popping something big.
Yeah, he's one tackler away from getting in the end zone. A little misdirection here, cutback run. The hole opens up there behind tight end Greg Gunther, but Jimmy Newell is there to fill it.
Speaking of Gunther, he has not seen the ball today. The big 6'8", 240-pound sophomore from Calabasas. Haven't really needed his pass catch skills as yet. There's the pursuit on Carson Palmer. He gets away from the heat and goes out of bounds after picking up about 3 yards. Anthony Kelly, number 47, was the man pursuing him.
And that's probably the biggest improvement that Palmer has made this year, is his ability to make something happen when the protection breaks down. He's an excellent athlete. Terrific speed for a man his size, 6'6", 230. And he got away from a very determined Anthony Kelly that time.
Kareem Kelly is on the field now. Mike Williams will be to the right or to the bottom of the picture, and Kareem Kelly is up at the top. And on third down, Palmer looks into the end zone and goes touchdown, Mike Williams.
Touchdown catch of the day for Mike Williams, working the slant route against Derek Johnson, and Palmer standing tall in the pocket. Watch as he gets to the inside. It's all over right there. Ball on target, but that move there, Johnson cannot allow a man with that size and speed to get off clean inside like that.
Killeen for the extra point. It's good. 9:34 to go in the third quarter, and Southern California opens up a 24-7 lead as they go 63 yards, 9 plays, 3 minutes and 52 seconds. 9:34 to go in the third quarter. The Huskies to be careful. This one could get away from them real quickly. High, deep kickoff by Killeen. My gosh, it didn't hit the ground until it was beyond the field of play.
He's the freshman, true freshman. Mike Williams is the Trojans' second leading receiver at 6'5". He combines size, speed, and big playability, and he's now the Trojans' #1 offensive weapon. He's averaging 20 yards per catch today. Been in the end zone a couple of times. And his coach and quarterback have a lot of faith in him, coming back after having a rough start this afternoon. And he's out dueling that other #1, Reggie Williams.
Pickett quickly throws. Pass is completed. Gain is about 8 yards to Patrick Reddick, who makes his first catch of the day. He's another Southern Californian, comes from Newberry Park. The Oregon Ducks have gone to 28-10 now over Arizona State up in Eugene. Washington State, the other undefeated team in conference play, is off healing this weekend. Second down and 2. It's Singleton. He's close. The Pac-10 standings coming into the ball game. One at the top is off. Oregon can go to 3-0 with a win. Arizona State could absorb their first loss in the conference. But it's not over. And like Yogi said, ain't over till it's over. Trojans would go to 3-1. UCLA's playing at California later this afternoon, and the Bruins need to be careful too. Third down and very short for the Washington Huskies now. Need about a foot. And Cody Pickett, the quarterback, keeps it and dives ahead and went over the left side of the center, and he got it.
First down, Huskies.
5 weeks in a row at home for Washington. It was kind of, everybody thought it might be kind of exhilarating for them to go on the road and play a game. But so far, the exhilaration has been muted.
Yeah, I never thought it was a good idea to go on the road and play a game. I always kind of liked sleeping in my own bed and driving to the game instead of flying.
You got to get in there and scuffle with some tough folks to hone your team, and the Huskies had some pretty easy games. Cody Pickett's pass is to a wide open Kevin Ware, the tight end, and he is brought down finally down near the 30-yard line by Sean Hill. If Hill misses him, he's gone.
That is a great tackle by Deshaun Hill, because 255-pound Kevin Ware was running full speed. Time to throw is the key again for Pickett. Here's Ware, top of the screen there, and it's a little out and up from the tight end position. He loses the linebacker. Ball is well delivered, and there's that fine tackle by Hill.
And it's first down, obviously, for the Huskies down at the Southern California 31-yard line. Pickett back, throwing again, gets it away. Ball is incomplete. Marcel Allman had a shot at it as they tried to force it into Reggie Williams, and it was incomplete.
Pickett had a lot of pressure on him that time. He's going to get drilled after he lets it go. That's why the ball is thrown so far behind Reggie Williams and almost intercepted by Marcel Allman. Excuse me, Keith, the combination of Allman's physical play at the line of scrimmage and Pete Carroll's switching up defenses has kept Reggie Williams under control.
And Allman's another one of the wide receivers who's going to a defensive back position. There goes Singleton out of the backfield. It's an empty backfield. A little quick pop is thrown. Intercepted. It's Matt Grodegood. And he's out of bounds down around the 26-yard line. And there's a penalty flag thrown back up the field, probably blocking in the back. But that ball bounced right off the hands of Patrick Reddick and right into Grodegood. Don't see about the flag.
First interception of the year for Matt Grodegood. He was in the right place at the right time. Again, little zone coverage as he drops back. Reads the quarterback's eyes, looks inside. There's the ball thrown on time, but it just appeared that Reddick wasn't ready for it. It was one of those pop passes. Pickett saw he was uncovered, and that's when you know things are not going your way as a quarterback. You read the coverage, you know who you're going to, and the timing is just not there. But the ball was there for Grodegood.
Well, it's a chop block on the Huskies, blocking below the waist.
You may say, well, why are they blocking? Well,
illegal block below the waist on the original offense. Penalty being enforced 15 yards from the end of the run. After this is the goal into the run. First down.
Wow. That's on the original pass blocking. That penalty occurred, and it's tacked on to the end of the return.
That is a rough one.
Yeah, it just looked like Washington was starting to find a rhythm on offense. They got the big play down the middle to Ware. They converted a third down on the quarterback sneak. And now this.
That'll ground your balloon pretty quickly, I would think, because that is a dramatic swing, not only with the interception, to have half the distance penalty nailed on you. And here's USC now camped at the Washington 13-yard line, first down. McCullough gives the ball to Keary Colbert, and Colbert cuts back into traffic, and Keary gets down to the 11, and he's hot and mad because he didn't go far. Here's John Saunders to update you on that Oregon game up in Eugene against Arizona State.
Keith, as you saw the score, Oregon with the lead, and here adding to it, here's how it happened. Ontario Smith, this is his third touchdown run of the game from 6 yards out. He's well over 100 yards. Arizona State just scored. The extra point is pending. It's up. It's good. So now 28-17.
Josh Miller shaken up on the field for the Huskies. He's one of the interior linemen for them. He's down on the field injured. Arizona State proves again, though, they can strike from long range. They can really air that thing out sometimes with Sean McDonald and Lightfoot and those people.
And especially against the Oregon pass secondary, which is probably the only liability that Oregon has right now. Carson Palmer back in 1998 got his first start against the Washington Huskies wearing number 15. He made the most of the opportunity, completed 18 of 31 for 279, a touchdown, and no interceptions. Most important stat was the final score. USC dominated 32-10 here at the Coliseum. Having another good afternoon against the Huskies.
3 touchdowns for Mike Williams. Wow. That's sort of in your face, Reggie.
Another ingenious play by Norm Chow. Watch Williams come to the inside, Colbert to the outside. A little confusion here as he gets a little bit of a rub there. But the zone defense is going to fight the Huskies as they drop too deep. And Williams can get in the end zone.
The point is good. So it's now 31-7 Southern California, and we're still in the third quarter. 6:56 to go. Today, courtesy of Goodyear and its fleet of airships, which reminds you to take all of life's journey on the wings of Goodyear.
Is proud to offer a 10% discount on big deal Goodyear game ticket.
Nice soft afternoon for a ride in an airship. Ontario Smith, incidentally, up in that Oregon game, is now his 7th consecutive game over 100 yards. And again, Killeen has kicked the ball far and away and no return.
At some point, the NCAA is going to have to look at moving the kickoff back. There is a flag down. Apparently, SC was offsides on that kickoff, so we'll move the ball back 5 yards back to the 30. They're just not getting any kickoff return in college football anymore.
25 seconds. Scoring on an 11-yard touchdown pass. Carson Palmer.
I'm Rick Neuheisel. I'm saying kick it again. We got to generate something. Maybe our special teams can add a spark here. We get a big kickoff return.
On the kicking team, 5-yard
So they're going to redo it. Try to hope they get something out of it. Look at this. Arizona State climbing back into the hunt. It's now 28-17. Oregon. So from the 35, Killeen will try it again. The sophomore from Norco. Had a pretty good leg.
Yeah, moving it back 5, it'll be interesting to see if he can reach the end zone. He's been putting it deep from the 35, but this could make a big difference here.
If he gets too wound up in it and swings at it too hard, he might whip it. Kind of like hitting a golf ball, you know. If you really try to bust it, it's easy to miss.
Not with that new driver of yours, it's not.
Oh my goodness, it's a knuckleball coming down the field. It's fielded on the 25-yard line. He did miss it, fumble. But it looked like a Husky got on it in a hurry. Kevin Ware was the fellow who picked it up. And tonight, we were talking earlier about this, tonight at 7 Pacific time. Notre Dame and Air Force, both of them 6-0, will go at it over at Colorado Springs. 7 o'clock at night up in the Rocky Mountains. Just got to be cold. Ball will be hard. It'll be 10 o'clock Notre Dame's bedtime. It'll be interesting to see what a wishbone football team can do in today's marketplace. So far, they've done very well, thank you. Braxton Clemens, the tailback, but the ball is deflected at the line of scrimmage as Cody Pickett tried to throw on a slant pattern.
Really got to start feeling sorry for Cody Pickett with absolutely no rushing attack. He's being forced to go back and try to find a receiver. That time he looked for Reggie Williams, but the defensive line of SC continues to play well, knocking that one down before it could get anywhere.
And in case you missed it, Sean Cody is gone for the season. Big tackle for SC. Ball is intercepted. Picked off by Polamalu. He's still going. Sore ankle and all. He doesn't feel a bit of pain as he goes inside the 15-yard line where Pickett knocks him out of bounds.
Last year he had a 22-yard interception return for a touchdown, and he was darn determined that time to bring that one back. Pickett throwing into the teeth. Here's Polamalu. Watch him come over here, reading the quarterback's eyes, and he's going to take this ball in full stride. Makes one miss there. Charles Frederick. Polamalu is a very severely sprained, one of those high ankle sprains on his right foot. He looks 100% here. Watch him punish the quarterback at the end of the run.
He's a warrior. He felt no pain. He might tomorrow, but not now. Palmer, penalty flag down as Palmer throws complete. Ball goes to Sultan McCullough. He runs it into the end zone, but hold the phone. The referee threw the flag.
Got two on the field, Keith. One of the line judge also
Against USC.
They both saw that illegal formation or illegal shift.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty, previous spot, still first down.
So that puts a little bit of damp on the Trojan celebration that was a building as the ball comes back 5 to the just outside the 17-yard line.
First down and 15.
Oregon's gone back in front, added another touchdown to make it 35-17.
What are they playing, volleyball up there?
Yeah, Arizona State, they got a great passing game when it's working. And ball is thrown here to the outside. He's out of bounds right there on the 13-yard line. It's Grant Matos getting his first catch of the day. Senior wide receiver.
And one side note for the SC wide receivers. Remember, Kareem Kelly has a bad right ankle, did not start today. Mike Williams is taking over for him and played very well. Kelly looking for one catch.
He's out there right now, Dan.
But he has no catches yet.
So he comes to the right side, or the bottom of the picture, as the wide out. Palmer goes the other way. Oh, he hands it off. And here comes McCullough, and a penalty flag is thrown by the referee. Holding the Trojans. It's holding against Southern California. Now let's have a look at what happened up in Oregon with John Saunders.
Keith, the score you were just talking about against Arizona State, Jason Fife goes 50 yards to George Reister. A great grab as he leaps up to get it, fights off the tackle, and then just stays behind the one block he needs to get it in for the touchdown. Oregon is rolling over Arizona State now 35-17, Keith.
Ontario Smith, 130 yards, huh?
Yeah, Jason Fife.
Looking better and better, isn't he?
Yeah, and really playing with all the pressure of following the legendary Joey Harrington. Not having any trouble at all.
It's the system.
Second down and 21 from the 23.
You can see what a system does. This quarterback, Carson Palmer, and this SC offense, a lot better in the second year under Norm Chow's system.
Caught by Carroll. And the tackle made by Chris Massey. But Jason Fife sat on the bench, what, for 2 years, right, behind Harrington. And by the time his opportunity to play came, he'd been pretty well seasoned and was ready.
Doesn't hurt having a running attack, too, like Ontario Smith provides.
Yeah, you're right.
Carson Palmer, hot quarterback here in the second half, but that offensive line has totally nullified the Husky pass rush.
Mike Williams left the field, and I don't know whether it's cramp or something with his left leg. They're talking about it. So he's off the field right now on 3rd down and 14. Palmer gets pursuit, gets away from it, throws it in the end zone. A wide open man drops the ball. Keary Colbert, who is normally a very steady receiver, was in the air and just simply dropped it.
Ball went right through his hands and put an X on his chest. Tight spiral by Carson Palmer. Buying time. He goes over and whacks his receiver. He knows this is not going to happen very often. Look at this throw on the run.
Boy, I mean, it happens.
He was into his celebratory dance, maybe.
33-yard field goal try coming now with Killeen. And the kick is good. And the Trojans now make it a 34-7 ball game, having lost the touchdown, but having the opportunity for 3. Now time for Todd's Traveling Expo.
All right, Keith. Well, it's not Halloween quite yet, but I'm in the middle of Paul Arnold's posse. These are the guys that follow Troy around. They're big fans. What we want to talk about this week is the high ankle sprain. Now, I know you hear a lot about it. The difference between the high ankle sprain and a regular ankle sprain is a normal ankle sprain. The ankle just rolls over this way. The high ankle sprain, these two bones separate from the tendon tear, and when you step down the talus, that's when the bones really get a lot of pain to a player like Troy Polamalu. He's playing with it by virtue of this beautiful brace that was custom made to his foot. And I'll tell you what, Russ Romano and John Taperdine, the athletic trainers, have got him in good shape, as you saw by that last interception. But here it is, Polamalu's posse. Back to you.
I like it, Keith. I think we'll get you one of those for your birthday.
That's a rather exotic setting for a medical dissertation, wouldn't you think?
How about that high ankle sprain, 33 yards on the return? You don't want one of those wigs, huh?
No.
Todd, bring that one upstairs.
Todd, you take that home. Carrie will take a stick to you. She won't let you in.
By the way, we do want to wish you the happiest of 2 over par birthdays.
I've already had them. I've been having it all week. Flat worn out. I can't wait to get home. Again, the ball is through the end zone and beyond field of play and will come out to the 20-yard line. So the Huskies have seen a lot of that 20-yard line territory today. 34-7, the Trojans have the lead. Claxton is your running back or tailback. It's set up in a single back formation with 2 doubles, 2 wides on the bottom and 1 at the top of your picture. Whistles again, stopping it. Jay Strickerts is your referee today.
Kick ball, false start, on the out, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Let's go for a moment to John.
Keith, Ohio State, watch a nice fake to Maurice Clarett. Krenzel goes to Ben Hartsock, and that's good for the touchdown. They go for the 2-point conversion, did not get it. So right now, the Buckeyes lead the Badgers 19-14 with about 10 minutes left.
The old Cam Randall gig, that's a tough place to play. They really get on your back.
And with only a 5-point lead.
Yep. We're still in the 3rd quarter in this one with Southern California holding all the controls right now. They swing it out to Clemens out of the backfield, and a penalty flag is thrown with the linesman across the way. False start, Washington.
This team starting to unravel. 2 penalties already on just this possession alone.
Well, they have had their distractions at the University of Washington this year. No question about that. A continuing naggle from and then the eventual decision from the NCAA was got to be a black cloud.
And that cloud is going to hang around for a while.
It looks like it. 2nd down and 12. Pressure coming, they got him. Number 53 and number 94 are the 2 people who came pounding in to make the play. I thought I saw 53. And Udeze again involved because he's had almost a free afternoon over there at his defensive position.
10 yards on the sack.
So they get a couple of penalties. push him back, and now a 10-yard sack by number 94, Kenechi Odezi. And it's all him. I think your 53 was really 93. Bernard Riley flying in there. So the loss of Sean Cody, not as bad as the Trojans may have feared.
3rd and 22. Pickett gets away from the first pressure and throws down the sidelines, and no chance on the play. None at all for Frederick to make the catch. And Udeze again had the lasso out for Cody Pickett. So right now, Washington is being manhandled by the Trojans. Well, as long as they can keep Bernard Riley healthy, you know, he used to be the starter in that defensive front, but he's been dinged up quite a bit lately. But if they can keep him healthy, he'll be all right.
Yeah, they've got a lot of confidence in him. He's a senior, and he works well with Mike Patterson on some of those twists.
McLaughlin now out of the end zone to punt for Washington. Oh, that's a dandy. It's really high. A lot of air under it. It's going to be fielded right about the 50 midfield stripe, and that is not an intrusion of the halo by Wilbur Hooks this time. And Wilbur got his shot. It'll be SC ball at the 50.
Drive summary, USC's possessions here in the second half. You can see even when you go backwards, you can still get something out of it. It's been all SC here in the second half.
Justin Vargas is the deep back for Southern California. They come out throwing. There's Kareem Kelly's catch. So he keeps the pace of catches in consecutive games with the other two folks. One of them being Keenan Howry, who's involved in the ball game up in Eugene.
Yeah, and it's a very safe pass. Just a hitch route. Kelly looks pretty good, actually, for having so much tape on that right ankle that's very sore. If I were Pete Carroll right now, I'd take his helmet away from him, start to unwrap that ankle, put some ice on it, because he's got a big week next week against Keenan Howry and the Ducks.
Kia Northcutt of Arizona is the man who holds that record, and somebody's going to break it this year. In fact, maybe if both of them will break it. This is Justin Vargas carrying to the right side on the first down, and didn't quite get to the line of scrimmage. Here's John Saunders again.
Arizona State and Oregon, and it looked like the Ducks had things in control, but back comes Arizona State. Andrew Walter, 3 yards to Mike Pinkard for the touchdown. They've just added another long touchdown pass, and so Oregon, which looked like they were rolling away now, lead by only 5. Keith.
That liability in the secondary, Oregon's killing them. Remember what Stanford did to him last year.
Yep. 2nd down and 10. Sun Devils went for 2, so that's a pretty close ball game now. 35-32 is your score up in Eugene, Oregon. Here it's 34-7, Southern California, and in control of the ball game. 3rd down and 9 coming up.
1 yard. 3rd and 9. 33.
Well, Oregon's got 2 of the smallest corners in the conference.
And they were lucky to escape last week's game against UCLA at the Rose Bowl.
That's right. Palmer going to the corner. Williams, no. Defending, it is Jimmy Newell.
Well, up to that great play by Jimmy Newell, Mike Williams has had a pretty good second half. 3 catches, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns. And his 3 touchdown receptions on the afternoon has a SC record.
And we're at 1:45 in the 3rd quarter, and he just missed on this last one. It's 4th and 9, and they're going for it. Palmer's got a man right down the pipe, and he was late getting ball to him. George Gunther, the big tight end, 6'6", was open early, and Palmer didn't see him in time, and by the time he threw it, there was a defender there to mess it up.
Yeah, Gunther was wide open, Keith, as you said. Palmer was looking down the field away from him. Here's Gunther right here. He's going to come right down the middle here. And then number 21, Derek Johnson, is going to come out of nowhere from the right side of the screen and almost pick that ball off.
The attendance today is 52,961. I'm sure that's less than what they anticipated for this particular ball game. But those who are not here probably are saying, oh, see how smart I am. Now I can put my feet up and watch the Angels play in the World Series tonight. Ball is thrown short underneath, and it goes to Zach Tuiasosopo, the fullback out of the backfield, the younger brother of Marcus. And he gets the ball for the first time today and makes it count. Monday night up in Pittsburgh, it will be the Colts, Indianapolis Colts, against the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6 Pacific. And don't forget to cast your vote for Monday Night Football's greatest game at ESPN.com. Your keyword, MNF500 or NFL.com. Second down. Chris Singleton trying to pick up the first down on 2nd down and 3, and he didn't get in.
Now these numbers for the running attack is just it's pathetic, really. Clemens 10 yards on 7 carries, Singleton 1 yard on 6 carries, and Rich Alexis with a bad ankle not playing at all today.
Reggie Williams is coming down wide to the left, along with Paul Arnold. But Pickett goes the other way. The ball is caught by Frederick. Frederick breaks loose and will pick up the first down for Washington as he gets the ball down to the Southern California 43.
You know, sometimes when you're having trouble with your offense, you find 2 receivers in one area and throw the ball at both of them, and maybe one of them will catch it. And that's what happened to the Cody Pickett that time, as Kevin Ware and Charles Frederick in the same area. But if they can get Frederick going, they might have a chance. You know, I mean, this kid's got big playability. Keith Gilbertson said he reminds him of a fast Mario Bailey. Remember how good he was for the Dogs.
Quarter's over. We got 1 to go. ABC Sports presentation of college football. Back after this message and a word from our ABC station. The final 15 minutes coming up here as the ball rests on the Southern California 43-yard line, possessed for the Washington Huskies, 1st down and 10. Huskies have been very quiet since the first quarter. They scored a touchdown to make it to take the lead, actually, and have done nothing since. The ball is thrown to Chris Singleton out of the backfield for a gain of about 6 yards.
Our Pacific Life game summary has been all about offense and defense for SC. 2nd touchdown catch of the day for Reggie Williams. Then a Matt Grotegood interception led to the 3rd touchdown catch for Williams. And then a Troy Polamalu pass interception and 33-yard return set up a field goal. And it's been all Trojans in the 2nd half.
2nd down, call it 5. Pickett throwing, going deep for Wilbur Hooks. And Wilbur looked left, and he went over his right shoulder. Darrell Rideaux defending.
And it's funny how when you're looking over your shoulders, how much it slows you down. If he had an idea where the ball was, we've seen earlier in the day when Carson Palmer threw the bomb to Mike Williams, how he just could run straight ahead, not have to look over his shoulder. That ball thrown a little bit to the backside. That's why Hooks could get to it. That's the world's biggest hibachi.
That ball is thrown outside to Braxton Clement. He'll go down to about the 30-yard line, and that will be good for a Husky 1st down as Sean Hill makes the tackle. Do you know what that cost
per minute? That's a lot of gas. Those end run folks running that one?
I don't know. It's a lot, though, I imagine. But still a great landmark in this city. 1932 Olympics, 1984 Olympics. Pickett's pass. Reggie Williams inside the 5, down at the 2, 1st and goal for the Huskies.
First catch in a long time for Reggie Williams, but he gets off inside against Marcel Almond. He's so effective on these slant routes. Scored 3 times on a similar type of route last week against Arizona. And Pickett with one of his best throws of the day as the Huskies 2 yards away from a touchdown.
In the fourth quarter, they've been known to work some pretty magic stuff in the fourth quarter. Pickett rolls out, throws. He's got him wide open. Kevin Ware, the tight end, for the touchdown. So they'll have the point now to try to make it a 20-point ball game.
And it's amazing, as poorly as Washington runs the ball, this play action fake holds the Trojans defense, and Ware is wide open. Watch, they're going to fake the ball up here. Here's Ware, just down and out. And with the rollout, Pickett just about walked this one in.
Kick's good. John Anderson makes it a 34-14 ball game with 13 minutes and 30 seconds left to play at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Well, there's a little lift for the Huskies as their team comes in here in the fourth quarter to get a touchdown and make it a 20-point ball game, 34-14. A lot of things have followed this Washington team across the fourth quarter in recent seasons. But they needed to be a little closer, I think, than this. That's a high hanger that goes beyond the field of play. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention. Old Navy Painter's Pants, the handyman's classic. And Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines.
The Husky defense needs a turnover. They need a takeaway. They got to get the ball something back, and they haven't been real good at that this year. 9th in the conference in turnover ratio. They have 1 interception today, but that was on the very first pass, very first play of the game from Carson Palmer.
Palmer throws outside very quickly, going one-on-one with Mike Williams, and Williams is good for 9 yards on the play. Cunningham making the tackle. Now again quickly, John Saunders.
Keith, this one's hard to believe. Oregon led this game 21-0 and 35-17 in the second half. Andrew Walton of Arizona State, 58 yards. The Justin Taplin for the touchdown. The tackle comes too late. And Arizona State leads the unbeaten Ducks 39-35.
Wow. 12 minutes to play, huh?
Andrew Walton's got a great arm, doesn't he?
Well, he does. He's got a howitzer. Palmer turns, penalty flag goes down as Justin Farkas gets the carry for about 3 yards. So Arizona State has taken the lead by 4. Ooh-wee.
12 minutes to go up there in Eugene. Have probably got time for 6 or 7 more scores.
Arizona State will have they'll have Washington next at Tempe, and then at Washington State.
5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's a 5-yard penalty against the Huskies, so move it along and make it first down at the 35-yard line. .13-12 to play in the ball game. Trojans don't want to get too conservative here and then make a mistake, let Washington have a shot at it. Get him right back in the ball game. Got to close it. That's Farkas again, and you see the quickness that he carries. Slashing in there, picks up 4.
A little more decisive than Sultan McCullough. McCullough's got more speed, but Farkas looks more like a running back in his cuts, especially with this style of offensive attack. But I doubt that Norm Chow would get conservative. That's not in his nature.
No, not really.
Especially with these weapons.
Williams. Mike Williams, the ball comes out. Huskies pick it up. Of the fumble is to just about midfield by Joe Lobendon.
And Derek Johnson will strip this ball from the freshman Mike Williams. And this is exactly what the Huskies were looking for. Get the ball back to their offense with good field position. Slant route to the outside. The catch is there. Watch the right hand and left hand, actually, of Johnson. And a good bounce for Lobendine here as he picks it up and he's running. But Derek Johnson's had a long afternoon, but he makes up for it in one play right here.
Put it on the Washington 49, first down for the Huskies. Cody Pickett getting pressure, throws, trying to set a screen for Clement. And Braxton Clement will get it across midfield to the 47 of USC. That's 4 yards. Fourth quarter comebacks since Neuheisel has been at Washington. You can see there's a history there.
4 yards.
That's a lot of time, too. 12 minutes.
Pass is caught by Paul Arnold. It's a little short of the first down, it appears. Got a pretty good mark, though, from the man across the way.
Big number right here, those 2 interceptions. But Pickett is a competitor. He loves to get into a game where it's on his shoulders, and that's where it is right now.
Clement cuts and gets the first down. He gets it across the 40-yard line. He had to go across the 41, but he did enough to get his first down.
He made that first man miss about 3 yards deep in the backfield. So while he didn't get a lot of yards, he got what he needed. And now the Huskies will dictate tempo now with a no-huddle offense.
43 passes against 19 runs. Washington, that's pretty much on the schedule they've had all season. Pickett's pass is thrown to Clement, and Braxton will bang his way down to about the 34.
He is a banger, too. He had a choice of going to the sidelines, trying to make a guy miss. He said, the heck with that. Lower the shoulder, lower the hat, punish the tackler.
Gain 6, needs 4 on second down. Ball thrown sharply and completed to Joe Toledo. That's his second catch of the ball game and his second catch of the season. First down, Huskies. Pittsburgh is the place, and the game involves the Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts. Tommy Maddox quarterbacking the Steelers right now. And, of course, Peyton Manning, Indianapolis. That'll be at 6 Pacific time. Cast your vote for Monday Night Football's greatest game at ESPN.com. The keyword, MNF 500 to the end zone. It is Reggie Williams, a touchdown. So the Huskies come up with a fumble and cash it in. At 10 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the game.
Keith, they got into a rhythm. They started dictating tempo of this game. Their play selection was better, and then they go for the big play, the bomb to Reggie Williams. Gets behind Marcel Almonds, a perfect pass, and down in time in the end zone for 6.
And the point after now coming up. John Anderson hits it low and squeezed it in, and it now 34-21. We might have something cooking here. John Anderson putting the ball on the tee at the 35-yard line. Deep for the USC Trojans. You'll have Marcel Almond and Justin Fargas. Haven't been a whole lot of kickoffs returned today. This guy, he's been hammering it.
So is Killeen. That's way back there, and it's dropped in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. And here's your quarterback comparison for the day.
Well, he talked about how much the ball would be in the air today. Cody Pickett is getting hot now, though. That last drive, he was 5 for 5. In fact, he's completed 11 of his last 12 passes. Palmer, having an outstanding afternoon, was victimized by Mike Williams fumbling after a long completion the last time SC had the ball.
Kareem Kelly is out as a wide receiver. So is Keary Colbert. And Sultan McCullough is the deep back and gets the ball. And the Huskies taken down after a yard with Ben Madavi, the middle backer, making the tackle for Washington.
Keith, that was really a strange reaction by McCullough. When he got the ball from Palmer, he stopped. Just almost came to a complete stop and then started again. Hole is off the right side. Maybe he stopped because he didn't know if he had the ball or not. That was a long handoff from Carson Palmer.
Ohio State Buckeyes beat Wisconsin 19-14 up at Madison today. Close, but they won it. Palmer trying to set up a screen here, and a tight end screen, and was under. He let him come through, trying to draw enough people with him, but only 2 Huskies went with him, and that left 9 others to defend on the play, and they did a pretty good job of it.
And one of them was Ben Madavi putting pressure on Palmer. SC's offense looked horrible all of a sudden. In fact, their whole team looked horrible. It's amazing how momentum will swing, even when you have a huge lead, as the Ducks well know.
Yeah. They're down by 7. Arizona State added a field goal. 3rd down and 9. Ball's away and incomplete. Williams had drawn 2 Huskies and defending him, and Palmer had some pressure coming as Anthony Kelly and Kai Ellis were after him, and it was Ellis who put the lick on him. And so now the Trojans have to punt it away from inside the 10-yard line. And Washington, if they handle it, Frederick handles it all right, they'll have very good field position again with 9 minutes and 29 seconds to play in the game, and trailing by only 13 points, 34-21. Malone gets it out of there. It's a low kick and not a particularly long one, but it takes a very good Southern California bounce. It's fielded by Frederick, and he brings it back 3 or 4 yards before he's run out of bounds. So it is still very good field position for Washington. Started out 7-7 first quarter, then the Trojans 17-7, and then the 3rd quarter they added 17 more to lead 34-7, and now here in the 4th quarter the Huskies have come back for 14 points, and it's an interesting score now, 34-21, and Washington will start this possession first down at their own 42-yard line. Time remaining in 9-9.
With Verizon, you could save big on all your favorite entertainment. Whoa! Careful now, that's gonna... Yep. There it is.
He missed him by 5 yards.
Yeah, he took a little hitch. He pump faked, and you can't afford that little pump there because you're going to throw it.
Don't you remember thinking?
Doing very well here.
Yeah, he's their 2nd leading tackler, and that was a terrific open field tackle where the running back goes down immediately.
It is 3rd and 9. Trojans trying to help. Trojan crowd trying to help their team. Pickett throws, got it to Reggie Williams. Boy, that Williams is a good receiver. He's a big guy, and spinning catch there in front of Deshaun Hill and move the chains to the USC 35-yard line.
And he beats double coverage here. It's his own. Watch Allman pass him off. Hill comes over late. The ball is on a laser from Pickett.
Pretty good stuff there. First down and 10. And that's a bit clumsy looking as he tried to deliver the ball to Clement out of the backfield and couldn't do it because there were all kinds of folks trying to kill him. 6 passes. How many times can you throw a ball in the season, Dan? before your arm falls off.
When you're 19 years old, 20 years old, or 35?
42-42, Arizona State and Oregon now. The Ducks have tied it.
You know, Cody got a strong right arm because of all that healing he does as a team roper.
Trips at the top of the picture. Penalty flags away. They may have burned the clock.
Yeah, the clock was against him, and they had to hurry, and people were moving up front.
You don't need to be doing that when you're trying to catch up this late in the game. It's hard to give up 5-yard penalties like that.
But Cody Pickett knows one thing. If he gets in trouble, he can look for number 1, and Reggie Williams will reward that confidence.
Illegal shift on the offense. Penalties declined. Down to be 3.
You saw Polamalu up there talking to Jace Pickett, the referee, and they decide, no, let the play stand. They declined the penalty, and it makes it 3rd down and 10.
Huskies have been awful good all year long converting 3rd down. Trojans had been a lot better than they are today defending 3rd down.
Pressure on Pickett. The pass is away. It's almost, or may have been, intercepted. No, it has not been intercepted. Polamalu was right there on it and couldn't quite scoop it up. So it is 4th down and 10.
Well, the pressure pulled Pickett out to the right. If he could have stayed to the left, he would have had Braxton Clement going right down the middle of the field here. Actually sneaking out of the backfield. There's Clement. And that's a heck of an effort by Troy Polamalu.
Timeout.
University of Southern California.
USC calls the timeout. Time remaining 8:18. Crunch time. There's Polamalu, who has to come out of the ball game. I'm sure that leg must be pretty tender by now. Jason Leach replaced him. He's a 5'11", 200-pound sophomore. Chino played pretty well, too.
Yeah, he's got a nose for the ball. He's got 3 interceptions this season.
So here we come with the Huskies, 4th and 10. Rideaux and Frederick at the top of the picture, and here's Cody Pickett. Stepped away, almost sacked, got away. Throws, is it caught? Rideaux down there at the 25-yard line, right on the marker, and they're saying no catch. Oh my goodness, that was close.
You know, Rideaux had to stay at the 25-yard line because that's what the Huskies needed for a 1st down. Watch him in the middle of the field. First of all, watch this move by Pickett to get away from Mike Patterson. And now here is Rideaux right there. He comes back, but he knows he can't come back too far or they won't pick up the 1st down. Well, I've seen a lot of catches. That looked like a catch to me.
Well, there was one in the end zone last week that resulted in USC's first touchdown against California, and they ruled that one a catch. It was the same kind of thing. But the officials were in different positions. Now USC trying to run some clock, and they start with Sultan McCullough. And McCullough will bring it out to the 43-yard line and a pickup of 8 yards.
Here's that catch you talked about last week against Cal. Kareem Kelly doing a great job of turning over, making like he made the catch, but clearly that ball hits the ground and then bounces into his chest.
But it was still 7.
Yep.
Jeff Tedford has still got a stomachache. Heck of a job by Jeff Tedford and his staff up there at Cal this year. It's just been fun to watch.
No question about it.
Just terrific.
Yep.
Ball is handed again to McCullough. And Sultan, he's going to be 2 yards short of his 1st down. So it'll be 3rd and 2.
Let's go back to Patrick Reddick's attempt to make this catch on a 4th down and 10. Throw back into the field. Both hands are underneath it. That's a catch. That's a catch. Watch both hands cradle this ball and keep it from hitting the ground.
I'm not going there. I can't tell.
Well, I'm biased, you know.
I understand.
Well, you're a duck. I'm a quarterback.
That's a first down for Southern California. Malifo McKenzie out of the backfield. That's a big play. And now your clock stops at 6:30 to play. Why does Washington and Oregon have such enmity? Why is that rivalry so vibrant?
Well, how much time have you got? Well, let's see. Where do we start? Seattle, Eugene.
It's bitter stuff, I'll tell you. Ball is resting now at the Southern California 48-yard line. They own it. They have it first down. They have a lead of 34-21. When the Huskies looked like they were coming back, they suddenly ran into a couple of plays that didn't do much for them and a couple of passes that were almost picked. And now they've got to try and stop the Trojans. Tomorrow, America's soccer champion is crowned on ABC Sports. The New England Revolution battling the LA Galaxy. 2002 MLS Cup tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. ABC Sports Championship Television.
One of the most frustrated men out here this afternoon might be Sultan McCullough. Had 132 yards rushing against these Huskies last year. Got 35 so far.
Pretty well shut him down.
Yeah.
Second down and 10. Palmer puts air under it. Williams can't get it.
Pass is incomplete. Center for Mike Williams.
So the make or break game now grinds along as we go inside 6 minutes play. The loser of this game will have 2 losses and seemingly would be pretty much out of the hunt for the conference championship. Executive producer of ABC Sports, Howard Katz. Senior producer of ABC Sports, Bob Toms. Coordinating producer of ABC's college football is Bob Goodrich. And these are the people, I'll tell you in a minute, who've done the game today and all season in the Pac-10. Third down and 10. Palmer, that one's good. Caught by Mike Williams, and that's close. It'll be good for a first down at the 40.
First down, USC.
Just less than 4 minutes to play at Eugene, Oregon, and it's still a 42-42 ball game between Oregon and Arizona State. Today's game produced by Mark Loomis, directed by Patrick McManus, associate producer Derek Mobley, associate director Jeff Kipler, our technical director John Zippe, our technical and production assistants, I should say, are Tom Wicks, Juliana Barberi, computer graphics Matt Jenkins, and Fred Amos. On first down, Palmer turns and gives it to McCullough. He breaks one tackle and fights his way down to about the 35. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report, scores and highlights around the country.
This is where it gets real dicey for a defense. You have to blitz every down now. Try to disrupt a handoff, strip the ball, create some type of turnover. But if you miss, there's nobody back there, and McCullough is the type of back who can make that one guy miss and go all the way.
Second down, call it 5. McCullough searching for daylight and picks up about he's 3 yards short of his first down. Being a tailback you, what does it involve? What is it like? Here's Sultan McCullough's comments.
The toughest man in the field is the tailback. So you come there and see all the OJs, the Charles, and the Marcus Hollins. You know they're the toughest guy in the field. So being a running back, you got to be the toughest SOB on the field. So eventually, you get to 26 carry, 28, you got to be running hard because you know at that time they're going to be tired. And you can see in their eyes they don't want it no more, and that's when you got to apply the pressure.
Well, he had 39 carries last week. Today he's had 20, a lot less yardage. But again, he's the man who could help control the ball, run off the clock, and win the ball game. Finishing our credits, our stage manager is David Hatter. Jeff Abramson is our booth A2. And Kelly Hayes, as usual, our spotter. Thank you, sir, for a good job. And Mark Minto, who's taking a brief moment in his vast travels to spend an afternoon with us at the Coliseum is our statistician. Good group. Great group. Just terrific. Camera guys, the whole bunch, they're just really good. Good people. 34-yard line for SC, 3rd down and 3. If they put it up. Nope. They give it to Justin Farkas, and Farkas just hammers in there, and he didn't get. I'll tell you what, if you're an offensive lineman and that 210-pound running back coming with that speed and that power, and once you put some tracks on your back, you want to get out of his way. He really popped somebody.
Yeah, it was one of those classic confrontations between tailback and middle linebacker. Then Madavi stopped him cold. This is an interesting decision.
Yeah, 4th and 3. 4th down and 3. Palmer throws it. Completes it. Keary Colbert, 1st down. It's all the way down inside the 10-yard line. So, call it what you want. It worked.
Now that's Norm Chow, and we talked about would he become conservative. 4th down and 3. Game perhaps in the balance. The pass protection phenomenal, but the design of the play to get Colbert so wide open. He went in motion to the short side of the field, and Pete Carroll has got to love the play call and the execution.
There's Norm. He's a fun guy to spend an afternoon with. He really is. He's very clever. Trojans now knocking on the door again, and here's a loss on the play. Sultan McCullough trying to get to the line of scrimmage and can't do it as Marquise Cooper takes him down. Cooper has had a very good season for Washington at that outside linebacker position. Our studio show today, produced by Tim Weinkoff, directed by Calvin Haywood, and the technical director, Kevin Behrman. So I don't think I've missed anybody.
Well, who's the usher in section 34?
Okay, that's Charlie.
How about Miss Turian adding her support?
How about that?
Well?
I would say yes. Grand companion. Great. Just great. There is touchdown. Justin Farkas. His first touchdown as a Trojan tailback. He's a senior. That is a big, big moment for him. And it's also very likely the door slammer for the Washington Huskies.
Yeah, Keith, you talked about how hard he hits that hole. How happy are his teammates for Justin Farkas.
He has struggled and struggled with injuries, and suddenly he's in hallelujah land, and let him celebrate. The kick is good. 3 minutes and 23 seconds to play now. 12 plays, 65 yards. And your score is now 41-21 USC. 41-21, Southern California trying to win their 3rd conference game and go at 3-1. One of the undefeateds, Oregon, is having a struggle with Arizona State up in Eugene. A 42-42 score there with a little over 2 minutes to play after leading the ball game 21-0. UCLA's playing at California. The other undefeated team, Washington State, idle this weekend. The kickoff by Killeen, back into the end zone. You're going to run it out with Charles Frederick coming, trying to go to the outside, gets an alley, and he's finally run out of bounds up around the 45-yard line.
Well, special teams for Washington finally provides a big play there, but they had problems today. This is the first field goal attempt of the day, a high snap and a blocked field goal, and then the interceptions. The deflection picked off by Grodegood here, then Troy Polamalu returning this one 33 yards for the Trojans. And then on 4th down, a catch that was ruled not a catch.
Well, at 3:09, I would say this is the last gasp for the Huskies. They need something really quick, and then a quick turnover. There's the pass to Clement, and he'll get it down to the Southern California 45. That's pretty close to a first down. There's another ball game being played here in the West today or tonight that kind of fun to look at. It's Central Washington against Western Washington. They will play their 90th game tonight. 90th. It's in Ellensburg.
Who do you like?
I don't know. Probably Central. They're at home. So Bellingham, where Western is located, we've spent a lot of time there too. So don't know. But those are two very good programs. And the prize is the Cascade Cup. But that's a long time, you know, 90 years. You don't think in terms of school like that, having been playing the game that long. But some of those Division 2 and 3 schools have played almost longer than anybody.
Yeah, great tradition.
Yep. 2nd down and 5. To the corner and beyond. Pickett put it high in the air, and Reggie Williams couldn't track it down. Up in the up yonder. The Goodyear Blimp Spirit of America has been providing the aerial pictures today. 2002 marks the 104th, speaking of years, 104th anniversary of Goodyear and the 77th for their blimp fleet. Pilot today, Charles Russell, and the cameraman, Fabian Ochoa. 3rd and 5 for Washington. Whoa. Pretty good lick on Clement by Pollard. It looks like he's got a first down.
Yeah, but not a whole lot of time left.
No. 2:39. The only thing that's different in college football is every time they pick up a first down from here on now, that clock's going to stop.
I like that rule, too.
I do, too. It adds to the anxiety. That ball is thrown very hard to Eddie Jackson, and he had no chance to catch it. Thrown high and behind him, and Deshaun Hill was trying to break it in two. Arizona State has now gained the lead over the Oregon Ducks. This will be the first loss of the season for Oregon unless something heroic happens for the Ducks. 45-42, and it's what, less than 2 minutes to play now.
Ducks have trouble with that 42. Last year their only loss was to Stanford.
Yep.
49-42.
Yeah, I did the game. It was 42-28 going into the 4th quarter. Pickett back. Runs away from the heat. Throws it. And it's short of the first down. He had nobody beyond the marker that he could get to. Charles Frederick makes the catch a yard short of the first down. Now they're going to say it wasn't caught. So he didn't have the handle all the way to the ground. Reggie Williams was deep, but he was covered up in Trojan shirts.
Yeah, and the other thing is that he was running from the right side of the field, and Pickett had already escaped the pocket to the left side. That would have been an impossible throw to get it all the way across the field to number 1.
Now, where's number 1 now? He's on this side, the near side. And he throws it to Clement, and Clement's going to be belted out of bounds 3 yards short of the first down. So they're going to be looking at 4th and 3. He's caught 11 balls today, Clement has. Most of them, in fact, all of them, short passes. 2:09 to play in the ball game.
Braxton has rushed 8 more times, but has only gained 12 yards on the ground.
Here it is. Dropped. That'll do it. 2:06. The Huskies have, each team, as a matter of fact, has 2 times out remaining
The Trojans with pressure on the quarterback.
It's too late now for the Huskies.
Keith, we talked about what SC had to do. Carson Palmer, 4 touchdown passes, ties a career high, and they have pressured, pounded, and picked off Cody Pickett this afternoon.
Well, Southern California in this instance is a better football team. And the Trojans are going to take some handling. Washington State got them in Pullman. And down the road, that may turn out to be the biggest win of the season for the Cougars. They have a lot of trails to travel yet. All Washington can do is stop the clock twice with their times out, but they're down by 21 points. So the issue hardly seems in doubt with 1 minute and 45 seconds to play. Matt Castle now comes in there at quarterback. Carson Palmer is out. Mike Williams is out. Reserves are in to finish the game. You got to season them, and the guys behind Palmer haven't played much this year. I mean, almost none. Herschel Dennis is the deep back, and he'll get the ball. He's the freshman out of Long Beach Poly, and he cuts sharply for a yard. That's all. The Chevrolet players of the game today are Reggie Williams for Washington and Mike Williams for USC. And Dan is going to go home dreaming about the Williams folk tonight. Reggie Williams, 7 catches, 134 yards and a touchdown. For Mike Williams, 9 catches, 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. They're pretty good, all of them.
Certainly have lived up to their billing.
Yes, sir. Matt Castle gives the ball away, and look at this move by Herschel Dennis. He is quick, and we're off to visit with John Saunders one more time.
Appears there will be no one undefeated in the Pac-10 when the day is done. Arizona State, after a Mike Barth field goal to give them the lead. Fife is picked off by Brett Hudson. Hudson gets it down inside the 5-yard line. In fact, Fife with the touchdown-saving tackle. Right now, they're just taking a knee for the victory. Arizona State leads it and looks like a walk-off with the win. Keith.
Look at that. Andrew Walters, 521 yards.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
We were talking about the professor and the student. Dirk Cutter, great job.
But Walters a sight, though. He's got some he's got some catchers to throw to. So it's a big upset in Eugene today as Arizona State beats the Oregon Ducks. First loss of the season for the Ducks. However, Arizona State and Washington State both stay undefeated in the conference, and the game is now over. 45-42 Arizona State. For USC, it's 4th down and 3, and they're going to punt the ball away with 40 seconds remaining in this game. And the Trojans trying to go 3-1, and they are headed for Eugene, and they'll find an angry bunch of Ducks waiting for them. Fair catch is called inside the 20-yard line at the 18. But Oregon's secondary is small. The safeties are pretty good. I mean, they're quite good. Keith Lewis is a terrific player, but they're young and they're small.
And they've given up 800 yards in passing the last 2 weeks. Carson Palmer, have you noticed that?
Yeah. Reggie, Mike Williams, have you seen that? And Kareem Kelly can't wait to get well. So we'll see what happens up in Eugene next week.
Taylor Barton at quarterback.
Taylor Barton is now the quarterback for Washington. It was Taylor Barton who came into the game a year ago in relief of Cody Pickett, had a terrific performance and set up the situation for John Anderson to beat USC 27-24. But today is another story.
William Buchanan and Omar Nazell.
So the Huskies will now drop off to a record of 4-3. And they'll go 1-2 in the conference. USC will go 3-1 in the conference and 5-2 on the season. And the other big news of the day was Arizona State 45, Oregon 42, and it was in Eugene. Barton to throw it. Drop off to Clement. Braxton's could make a living coming out of the backfield catching those little short passes. He's short of the first down, however. But he gets out of bounds, and that stops the clock at 20 seconds.
And SC would do everybody a favor, try and keep Mr. Clemens inbound.
Especially Dan Fouts, who's trying to get to the airport.
I'll see you later, pal.
Okay, go ahead. I remember some others who did it once. One who left at the end of the third quarter.
I know many that would like to see me leave.
Taylor Barton throws it outside to Clement again. And this is just exercise here. Nothing to it more than picking up a first down and stops your clock at 11 seconds to play in the ball game. It is an academic fact that the University of Southern California Trojans have defeated the Washington Huskies on this afternoon. And right now the score sits at 41-21.
How about 14 receptions, the new Husky record for Clement? 15 now.
And that'll do it. The game is over. So Pete Carroll walks off with a light step as his football team wins by a score of 41-21. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. The keyword ABC Sports. And don't forget, Monday night at 6 Pacific, the Indianapolis Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers on ABC's Monday Night Football. Keith Jackson, Dan Fouts, Todd Harris. Goodbye till next Saturday.